Morning, it's the Brock and Salk Show, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com, Seattle Sports app, all the podcast platforms out there, plus 97.3 HD2 and YouTube if you like to watch the show. Voice a little strained this morning after going to the Kraken game last night, and what a night it was. Man, what a game. They are on fire. Absolutely on fire. It's too bad. They are 1 point away from being in first place. So you realize the Kraken get to first place. I don't know whether Edmonton or who else is ahead of them. Kings? I forget who the other team is just ahead of them. But let's say that, I don't know what their schedule is, but if the Kraken win tomorrow night, get into first place, you would have had the Mariners essentially in first place still by virtue of having won their division. Seahawks in first place still having won their division. Kraken in first place. You can't tell me that's ever happened in the history of the Seattle sports scene. Be unbelievable. And they are playing some really, really good hockey. If you had a chance to watch last night, you saw it. They dropped 7 goals on a pretty good Boston team. I know they're beat up a little bit, but a pretty good team. So, yeah, that was really, really impressive last night. And if you do it against Minnesota, another really good team who's coming in tomorrow, you just you're continuing to give yourself opportunities to just log points. Right? You just got to log these points. This is now the second biggest streak in the history of the franchise. The other time they went on a bigger streak, they made the playoffs. They had a playoff run. It's the only other time they've done it. So something has changed with that team. We're going to talk to John Forslund about it at 9:30, the voice of the Kraken. Obviously, moving on from Mason Marchment was huge. There had to have been some other things that were, bubbling behind the scenes, but it is just like unlocked this team, and they are on an absolute heater. So good for them. Great environment again last night. That's second game I've attended in a week, and both of them have just had really good crowds, really invested, and the team has come out and played really good hockey in front of them. So that has just been awesome. Okay, that's a fun story, and we'll kind of get to it over the course of the day. There need to know, and as I said with Forslund at 9:30, we're obviously still talking Seahawks, and Bryan Walters, our buddy, is going to join us at 8:30 today. We're a little lucky that Joel Klatt is with us today, just sort of timing-wise, because the biggest story in Seattle this morning, at least from a national perspective, is what's happening on Montlake with Damon Williams. And this is a fascinating story. Fascinating story. Because this is a great sports radio topic. I could give you a whole bunch of different takes just on this one story. Look, you guys know I'm not the biggest college football fan. I'm not going to be able to break down, what it looks like without Damon Williams on Montlake next year and who comes in to replace him. You'll have to wait for Brock to come in for all that stuff because I don't know, and honestly, I don't really care all that much. But just from a topic conversation, from a conversational standpoint, I mean, first of all, so the story is, in case you've missed it, you'd be the only one, but in case you missed it, Damon Williams just signed a huge deal to stay, at UW next year and be the quarterback, and he's now breaking that deal. Said yesterday and posted on Instagram, social media, that he is entering the transfer portal. A lot of thought that he's going to go to LSU. I think Brock thinks he's going to go to Miami. We'll talk through that with Brock later. But that's kind of the story behind it. And the idea is that someone's offering him ungodly amounts of money, even more than they were paying him here at UW, to go be the quarterback somewhere else for a year. What's the number? $6 million that's been thrown out there as a possibility? That's a lot of money. Maura, you made a great point this morning that I agree with wholeheartedly. This transfer portal thing is, ridiculous, and also just no way to run teams. Like, it's really impossible to do any team building or have any connection with fans when everybody is a free agent every single year. Makes it even worse if no one is bound to their contracts that they've signed. It's already bad enough. This is just like another step over the line. And yes, I think you're right. It is really hard to not teach kids, and they are still kids. They're not even graduated college, that, there's that your word means nothing. That stinks.
And you can't, obviously you can't blame them. Their coaches are doing the same thing, but it's not a great lesson, and it's overall just a bad product for fans. Like,
100%.
No one wants this.
Here's the other side of that, because I agree with you. All of those things are true, but this is why it's a great topic. If I'm Damon Williams is the perfect example of who this works for and who should do this. I can't blame Damon Williams. He's never going to make it in the NFL. He's never going to make more money than this in his life. He's not an NFL quarterback. He's too small. Like, that's right. That's the knock on Damon Williams. Maybe he gets drafted in the late round. Maybe he ends up, kind of fighting for space on a practice squad or as a backup for a couple of years. But he is not a, first round, second, even third round pick in all likelihood. He's not built that way. He is the prototypical very good college quarterback who's probably not going to make it in the NFL. I'd never say never, but that's sort of the thought behind it. This is his only opportunity, in all likelihood, to maximize more money than he'll ever be worth for the rest of his life. So if I don't know how much the UW thing, what was it, $4 million or whatever? If there's $2 million more to be made by going to LSU or Miami or, I don't care, Texas A&M, whatever, I can't blame him for that. $2 million? That's probably more than you're ever going to make for the rest of your life?
I mean, he's 19 years old. Who wouldn't want to do that? You can maybe question his decision-making or the people that he's working with's decision-making on the timing, because apparently Coach Fish and most of the team were at the funeral of the UW soccer player that passed away from cancer as he did this.
Terrible.
That looks really bad.
Absolutely right. I totally agree. And that, you keep kind of factoring it in like, yeah, that's going to be a knock against him for sure. You don't have to like him, right? I don't know him from Adam, but you don't have to like him. You certainly don't have to like the way he handled this. And I think there's going to be a legal fight, understandably, because there is, signed contracts have to have meaning. It's bad enough that nothing else has meaning in college sports. A signed contract should have a meaning just in the world. But I think we all know that, the world and the country we live in, nothing really has that much meaning anymore. You can say whatever you want and then go do something else, right? Just, faxes or whatever you want them to be. I didn't sign it. What do you mean? I never signed it. I didn't know. I didn't mean to sign it. I didn't know what I was signing. I'm only, 20 years old. I didn't know what I was signing.
I think if they're going to try to put a stop to stuff like this, they're going to have to be harder on the schools that are tampering or getting involved than they are on the actual player.
They're going to need someone in charge. We've been saying this for a while. They're going to need someone in charge. And I know Joel Klatt will come on here in hour and a half or so, and he's going to have all sorts of thoughts on this. He's going to be pretty fired up, I would imagine, because you can't go on like this.
The whole sport is run by a TV network. How ridiculous is that?
It's absurd. Everything about it is ridiculous. And I'm not going to stand up here and say Damon Williams handled this the right way. I mean, especially doing it. His teammates, not just did he announced it during Mia Hammond's funeral or memorial service, but his teammates found out about it while they were there, which is just gross. I mean, that's just bad human person-to-person skills. But I'm not going to sit here and blame Damon Williams or say, oh, I can't believe he's doing that. Of course he's doing that. It'd be one thing if he was Arch Manning and he had tens of millions of dollars awaiting him in the NFL in another year. You're like, come on, man. What, you're going to do this over a short-term couple of million when there's tens of millions coming later? You don't do that. But Damon Williams, dude, if he just takes just the extra $2 million, let's say it's an extra $2 million. If he just takes that money, not even the other money that he's going to make, just the extra $2 million, and invests it, and just lives off of the interest year to year, in theory, like that could last him as just a normal person's income for the rest of his life. I can't blame him. I can't blame him for that.
Problem is, it just happens all over the country.
I know.
Days. Like, I'll give you this number. I know Brock knows the number, so I figured I'd quiz you on it. Do you know how many kids are currently in the transfer portal?
It's like a third of college football, right?
4,500 kids.
Yeah.
Like, it's insanity.
I know. Believe me, I'm not justifying it. The kids deserve. I'm not mad at the kids for transferring. I think that's ultimately my point. I'm mad at the sport for the way it's run. I'm mad at the ridiculousness of allowing everybody to transfer every year. I'm mad at the idea that there's no rules in place, there's no structure in place, and there's no one in charge. None of that makes any sense. At the same time, I can't get mad at the kids for going to the highest bidder because of those 4,500. I wonder what percentage of those 4,500 will never play a down in the NFL, will never make $1 from the NFL. I don't know what the answer to that is, but I'd be willing to bet it's about 4,000 or more. It's almost every one of them. Not everyone, but almost everyone. Like, yeah, going to maximize my opportunity to make money if it's there. Now, a lot of them aren't really worth all that much money anyway, but for the ones that are, for sure. Like, there's just, you only get so many opportunities to make that kind of cash and maximize your value. But the whole thing stinks. In the meantime, what? Gaga ratings, unbelievable ratings for the bowl games. I mean, you guys really want to, I'm not a big college football fan. I didn't watch any of those games. I barely watched Damon Williams. You want to make a point? Stop watching. Like, at the end of the day, you're right, Lyle. It's being run by a TV network. What is TV network? What do they care about? Ratings.
Well, and
eyeballs.
Specifically for the SEC and the SEC.
But that's what they care about. You want it to stop? Stop watching. Now, I know you stopping watching isn't going to do anything, but college football fans in general, but you're not. You're watching more than ever. You're fascinated by it.
I'm actually watching less than ever. Like, I grew up, this is me personally.
You may be.
Yeah.
But college football fans, we just said the numbers are, I got to take a break. The numbers are off the charts. We got a lot more on this over the course of the morning. Stick around. It's Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports on 710.
2025. What a ride.
The Seahawks win 38-37. It's Sauber with the 2-point conversion catch. Holy cow.
So glad we can get done at home in front of the 12s.
2026, you have some big shoes to fill, and we can't wait.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Lumen Field in Seattle.
This is where you hear it happen.
We've won so many different ways all year.
Happy New Year from Seattle Sports.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty.
Wait, what?
Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-691-9999. That's 800-691-9999.
Hey Hawk fans, Jake Bobo. Stormy weather is here. How's your roof holding up? Give Techline Roofing a call. With the strongest warranty in the business, Techline has you covered. That's Tekline, roofing.com. Trust Techline.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ETHOS.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the home of the Seahawks.
Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN.
Seattle Sports.
Here's what you can look forward to when you get your windows replaced. The whole house being way warmer and a lot quieter. Dave Wyman here, and when we had finally had it with our old windows with broken seals, we called Harley Exteriors. They were incredibly friendly, professional, and absolutely knew their stuff. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade. They keep heat in and noise out. Plus, they're truly gorgeous windows. I said, you guys must use a different type of glass. And sure enough, it's their Olympic series, which is manufactured here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Harley Exteriors has a special offer for Seattle sports fans. Buy one window and get the second 40% off. No payments or interest until 2027, and take an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today. That's harleyexteriors.com.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, busy day yesterday with all those NFL coaches around the league being let go. We talked about Pete Carroll and Kevin Stefanski and Jonathan Gannon and all the rest of them. And unfortunately, Clint Kubiak is now going to be right there in the crosshairs. Does he have an opportunity to get one of these jobs? Yeah, he's going to interview in a whole bunch of places. That we know. Essentially, 4 of the 7 openings are interested now in Clint Kubiak. Daniel Jeremiah talked through it yesterday with us.
He seems to be the #1 offensive candidate. Everyone feels like that's a stronger pool of defensive candidates for the head coaching cycle this year, but everyone you talk to has him as the top offensive guy. And the sheer number of openings we have, I find it hard to believe that he wouldn't snag one of those.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like it's headed in that direction. Meanwhile, the other, big piece of news there is that it's not just him. Adam Dirty's getting a look in Cleveland. I wonder if somebody's going to sniff around at Jay Harbaugh, who's a special teamer. He's only 36 years old, but their special teams have been amazing. His father's obviously another NFL head coach in Jim. His uncle obviously started as a special teams guy and went on to an 18-year career in Baltimore. So we'll see if Jay Harbaugh garners a little interest as well. Meanwhile, John Harbaugh is out in Baltimore, and there's some conversation as to why. Was there friction between him and Lamar? Here's Adam Schefter.
I just think it's an overall directional issue for the Ravens and for John Harbaugh. I think after 18 years, people feel like maybe it's time to try something new. And I don't think it's a Lamar Jackson issue. I'm sure perhaps it contributed to it. I think it was a little bit unusual for Lamar Jackson not to come out and at least endorse his coach the other night, but I don't believe that's what drove this in the end.
Yeah, so my question is, if you're Baltimore, who's the #1 person you would want to go get? Isn't it Mike McDonald? Now, I don't think Mike McDonald would be interested, but where there's a will, there's a way. If I'm Baltimore, I'm making the call. If I'm Mike McDonald, and especially after hearing him talk through, asking people to trust him and bring him here and his relationship with John, I don't see that happening. I'm not trying to create panic, but if I'm Baltimore, I'm absolutely going to try to make that call and see if there's any interest, because he's already proven to be an excellent head coach, and they're pretty familiar with him with his time there as defensive coordinator. So I don't think it's going to happen. Again, I want to be very clear about it. But yeah, that's what I would be doing if I were in Baltimore. That's for sure.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, we already talked through this quite a bit. The story of Damon Williams at UW. It sounds like he's now in the transfer portal. At least that's what he thinks. He signed a contract, so UW is going to, I think, pursue all legal avenues in order to try to make sure that he can't transfer after signing a contract believed to be top of the market deal. So I don't know where all of that ends up. My guess is he ends up going. If you really want him back after he wants to leave, how can that possibly work? I get it that you got to hold people to contracts, but what? Then he comes back and now you have him prisoner as your quarterback? I don't see how that serves anybody's best interest next year either. So the whole thing is a mess. I'm looking forward to Brock coming in to talk more about it at 7 o'clock, and then Joel Klatt will join us at 7:30. And if I know anything about Joel, I know that he will have some very animated thoughts on this particular topic.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Great night for the Kraken. Great night for the kid. First-round pick Berkeley Catton has been just snake bit. He just cannot seem to buy his first goal until...
And Asborough can't handle it. Here come the Kraken. Berkeley Catton lays it back for McCann. Catton shot. He scores! Berkeley Catton has his first goal in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, Shane Wright went right over to the net, grabbed the puck, gave it to him. Everybody's going crazy in the building. Really cool moment. He ended up scoring again later in the game. McCann got one. Capo Caco had a couple. Eberle had one. They dropped 7 on an unsuspecting Boston team. So how about that? And they now sit 1 point out of first place. Just incredible what the Kraken have done here in the last couple of weeks. That is everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour. We'll talk to John Forslund more about the Kraken and hockey. We'll do that at 9:30. And they got Minnesota, tomorrow night, I believe. Tomorrow night at home. Okay. I did all of that without my notes. You guys impressed? I printed out the wrong thing. So I did all of that without my notes. Could you tell? Could you tell that I had no notes? Could you tell that I was making all that up? That was a full need to know with no notes.
Wow.
I know, Maura. That's what, you know what you call that? Adapting, overcoming, and improvising. That's Brock's favorite phrase, and I want a little credit for it. Okay, Daniel Jeremiah doesn't need to do that. He always has his notes, and he used them yesterday with us to talk through this defense, how great it is, and what they're capable of next, handicapping the rest of the NFC. Stick around. You'll hear it all next on Brock and Salk.
And so we are set.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle.
Seattle is going to win this football game. A single-season franchise record of 14 wins. The 4th #1 seed in franchise history.
Reaction.
Just incredibly proud of them.
Conversation.
Hopefully the next trip is going to be back down here for the Super Bowl.
Complete coverage at seattlesports.com. And the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at washingtonaccidentbooks.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The post-career day press conference brought to you by Progressive.
Anthony, can you tell us what happened during career day?
I'm a biomedical researcher. The kids just weren't impressed.
How did you feel when your son called in the backup?
Embarrassed, and I knew it would be a fireman. It's always a fireman. It's cliche, but a crowd favorite. He had an axe and everything. I can't compete with that.
And will the fireman be helping your son with his science fair project?
Hope not. I'm literally a scientist.
Like it or not, sometimes you need a backup. That's why there's Progressive to protect your home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, Affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Smalls here. Life is full of choices, some big, some small. And when you choose an H&R Block Tax Pro, you're choosing the largest network of tax expertise to be in your corner. For when your big ambitions need help with the small details. For when your six figures come from 6 different places. For when your gaming stream becomes your revenue stream. For when your business's year 1 needs 70 years of tax know-how. At H&R Block, they've seen it all. And they're here to help you make the most out of your money for life outside the box.
Yay to Bruce, the streaming king.
With quantum fiber internet, he's gonna binge.
He wants more, he's got to have more.
More bedtime true crime.
More podcasts in the shower.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi has the power. More fast internet speed.
He's got the gigs to go big, bring him the games.
Right now.
And his royal we.
More sports non-stop, his quantum fiber's on top. Ready to use.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service and speed in select locations only.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. Touchdown! Seahawks! Ken Walker III! Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home. Thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earned. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
Good Dog Auto Glass.
When the stakes are high, you want the best on your team. When your windshield breaks, don't settle for your insurance company's fix that's just safe enough. Trust Good Dog Auto Glass, where the quality isn't light. We do all the things the little guys don't, and we do all the things the big guy does.
We answer the phone when you call, we work for you, and we will walk you through the insurance process. Visit GoodDogAutoGlass.com, Puget Sound's most trusted auto glass company, and get more bang for your bark.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Rock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
He's Daniel Jeremiah.
I think he's really, really good.
And he's with Brock and Salk every week during the NFL season.
He could win an MVP.
Daniel's really smart. Daniel's probably the best in the business.
It's time for the Daniel Jeremiah Show, presented by Marquee Data.
Hey, the NFL season is over. Do we have a contract with DJ to go through the postseason? Like, has that written out? Has this all been handled? DJ, we still have you, right? Like, you stay with us here through the postseason?
I've learned this lesson from some of the veterans in the TV space that were on day counts, which was you never say anything. You just wait, let it all accumulate, then you send in your invoice. So that's the strategy I'm going with.
Very smart man. Very smart man. Here we are, man. Did you think, I don't mean to put you on the spot since we've seen people out there like trying to rip everyone who got it wrong with the Seahawks and everything like that. But I don't think too many people thought we'd be sitting here today at the end of the regular season talking about the Seattle Seahawks as the NFC West champs and, more importantly, the number 1 seed in the NFC.
Well, I picked them before the year to win the division, but I can't beat my chest on that because I didn't. Yeah, that's why I was getting.
You got cold feet?
I'm an honest man.
Yeah,
I picked them. I did. I thought that was going to be a tough one. The way San Francisco had been playing at home, I thought that was going to be a challenge. I thought it would be. I thought they'd have to score a decent amount of points. Turns out they only needed 3 or 4, I should say, to get that done. So misread on the last game for sure. But a believer in what they've built there. And we've been talking every week, guys, that the defense continues to just exceed expectations of a bar that they've set extremely high. That was as much fun as I've had watching a defensive tape as I can remember.
Why? What was it? So what was fun?
So to me, it was the combination of mixing looks, like rushing 4, then zone dropping. So they're giving you different pictures, but then the most fun was I posted a picture of like the explanation of the Seattle defense in one picture, and I just tweeted it out. There's 9 guys in the picture at the ball carrier, and it was every single play. I don't know, like Reek Wollen's flying all over the field, hitting people, and it's just become contagious with how fast and how aggressive they are pursuing the football. And you could watch the other side of the ball, like you watch some of the runs that popped for Seattle. It's because the backside end wasn't just kind of booking it down the line, and it was just kind of a mediocre effort. And then you go from watching that side to flipping it over, and it's like they're shot out of a cannon. I wrote down on 0, I just wrote down absolute maniac. He plays like a maniac out there. Like there's no football term for that. The guy's he's refuses to be blocked, and it's everyone on that group.
So give me the 3 reasons why. Maybe a gold, silver, bronze, if you want to do it that way. I've had some disastrous answers when I've tried to frame it in gold, silver, bronze with previous guests. So don't feel like you have to go down that road. But how about 2 or 3 reasons why the Seahawks in the end are the number 1 seed?
Well, I think it's the number 1 reason. I'll lump it together as the line of scrimmage. They're just played really, really well along the line of scrimmage, and the defense has been obvious. But I'm telling you, when they have Sundell out there next to Gray Zabel, that's as athletic of an interior combination as we have in the NFL. How good those guys are and their ability to work in space. Like that is fun to watch those guys play together on a string. I think their whole offensive line, 75, as long as you get him blocking down, he's an animal. He's going to collect some pancakes and move people. You just got to know where he is. You got to know what he had a little bit of an ME, a mental error on a sack, but I think he has gotten better throughout the year. But I just think line of scrimmage would be number 1. Number 2 is they're extremely well coached. In other words, they're not giving you freebies. The scheme is incredibly sound, and they trust what they're doing. So line of scrimmage, the coaching, and then I would say, to me, I don't want to just single out one guy, but JSN's elevation from being a really good player to being an elite, I can get open on any key down player is just, I don't know that you can overstate how important his ascension into stardom has been for this offense.
Nicky Manwari has just been, watching what he's doing and seeing the growth almost week to week, and just what he does for Mike McDonald, allowing him to play nickel the whole time, all these different things that he does, and the comparison to Kyle Hamilton. We saw what happened to the Ravens the other night when Kyle Hamilton went out. They had nothing left, it appeared like. I don't think the Seahawks are quite that dependent on Nicky Manwari yet, but are they heading in that direction where he could be as important to their scheme as Kyle Hamilton is in Baltimore?
Well, I think he's saved them, like he's single-handedly saved them 10 minutes of practice time because they, when you're looking at opponents and you have to worry about what screens they're going to incorporate into the game plan, Nick's got that, guys. Let's just keep the practice moving. Any screen they want to go, he will erase it. Don't worry about it. Let's just let's get on to the next period of practice. I mean, he's so, the athleticism and the ability to do a lot of different things. I think we could all see that when you watched him in college. To me, and I liked him, I gave him a really good grade, but I underestimated how instinctive he was. He surprised me with just how well he sees the game at such a young age. It's only going to get better, man. This is the ground floor, which is pretty scary.
Is this the fastest defense in the NFL?
I think so. I think all three levels. You know what? I'll say this. I saw Houston in person. Houston is extremely fast. So I would group those two together, and they both play pretty violent up front as well. I think those are the two, to me, clearly the two fastest defenses.
Brock made a point on that earlier, that their speed allows them to be as physical as they are. I was kind of thinking about them the other night, and like the league tried to take physicality away from defenses. They've worked really hard over the last decade plus to eliminate a lot of the ability for defenses to hit the way they do. And yet you watch that game Saturday night and tell Juwan Jennings that they're not allowed to hit anymore. Tell Brock Purdy that they're protecting the quarterback and all that, because they are finding ways to hit. Is that a relationship to speed? Like, how do you see them staying within the rules but still able to use that physicality?
Yeah, and I saw it live with Houston, and I tried to make the point after that game, which a lot of people did not grasp. Maybe I didn't explain it properly, but there's a difference between being a good tackling team and being a violent team. And you can still play violent within the rules. I mean, they're hitting guys within the strike zone, but they are collisions, and those add up as you're going throughout the course of the game. It adds up on a quarterback, but even more so just on all your skill players. Just every time you touch the ball, it's just a physical collision versus kind of the old school wrap drag tackle that we've seen as teams have tried to, take the head out of the contact and be careful. We don't want penalties, don't want injuries, but there is still a value in having some real physical contact. And I always go back to my own experience. I saw it when 4 years with the Ravens. You saw teams wear down. They didn't want to do that anymore. Like at some point in time, it's just not fun catching the ball over the middle. I'm going to get a rib shot, at full speed.
Salk had a revelation. Daniel. He had a revelation. He wrote a column about it, a really good column. Do you want to speak to your revelation, Salk, of Sam Darnold?
Well, real quick, can I tell you how Salk, because I think I've told you that I've had a dream about you guys, and then this time it's gone beyond that.
Oh no.
It's the start of the new year, and I'm efforting this year to read through the entire Bible. And I've got to Job, and I thought Job is basically Sam Darnold with Salk just punishing him, through the entire book. That's where I am. That's where I am in the Bible.
The patience of Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Well,
it's Sam Darnold's time with the Jets. Like, there's a lot of similarities in terms of what he's been through.
Yeah, no, there is, and now he has to deal with me, which is so much harder than the New York media and being with the Jets and that organization. This poor guy. It really is like Job. Just the
Sam.
Trials
Sam,
and tribulations.
3 letters. Sam, 3 letters. Job, 3 letters. That's all. I'm just saying.
Well, I think, as Brock said earlier, I'm really more of a doubting Thomas kind of a guy than I am the person punishing Joe. But it's funny you bring up religion, because Brock and I were actually talking about it earlier. Not something we do all the time, as we come from different religious backgrounds and probably have different levels of faith. But Mike McDonald talked a lot about faith yesterday, not in God necessarily, but in each other and how hard it is to get buy-in in the NFL. And I actually was you're a good person to ask this as well, because you and Brock, I think, see the world in some ways fairly similarly. But before we get to the Sam Darnold thing, Brock, do you think there's a relationship there between people of faith and being able to buy into something new, a new system, a new coach, a new chemistry, a new culture, whatever the case may be, when you don't have any evidence that it's going to work? You've never met Mike McDonald before. You've never heard his take on how to run a football team. But if you're a person who is able to have faith, maybe it allows the team to have even greater success.
Yeah, I think there's also just, their core tenets of faith in terms of how you treat people, and, how you respect what you're given in terms of authority, and that's littered all throughout the Bible. So there's to me, I think that you could draw that line, but I don't think it's a requirement. I don't think you have to be a
Agreed.
person of religious faith to have belief in people and schemes and teammates and all that kind of stuff. So no, I think it's an interesting conversation, but I think more than anything else, the reason you have buy-in is because you have an authentic guy who's teaching it, and an authentic person that you think that you can say, okay, not only this guy has had success before, but there's nothing phony about him. He's not an attention grabber. He's not someone who tries to make it about himself. He's someone who, is going to do his homework to install a plan that's going to help you be successful. And I think players sniff that out real easy.
So you're describing Mike McDonald there.
Yeah.
But you could have been describing Sam Darnold. And that is a pretty good segue into the conversation Brock wanted me to have, which is trying to look at Sam a little differently. Yes, you're right. I've struggled a little bit to figure out Sam this year. I like him. I enjoy parts of him that I really, really like. It's the trust factor that's probably the hardest for me. And I was compelled yesterday to start thinking of him maybe a little bit differently, instead of trying to view him just as a quarterback, trying to just view him as a football player who happens to be playing the quarterback position. And I think once I started thinking of him that way, and actually using a lot of the same language and thoughts that you just gave to Mike McDonald, it made it a little easier to learn to love Sam and kind of get behind him. I don't know whether I'm ever going to truly trust him until he does it against a great defense, against Philly, against the Rams. I think I'm going to need to see those things. I'm not a person who can just jump into faith. I need actual evidence. I am a doubting Thomas, but thinking of him as a football player seems to help.
I think that's a very mature way to look at that. And to me, I watch Sam as someone who, has been on the Sam Darnold train since the jump and had him as my top quarterback in that class. And it's someone who got to know him a little bit through the draft process. I do watch him like a nervous parent, when you're watching him and you're just going, okay, that first drive, he's got him in the flat in the end zone. Let it go. Takes a sack. And you're like, okay, he just needs to kind of settle in. Once he settles into a game, he's going to be fine. And then eventually he did in that game. And that's kind of, been a little bit of the track record there. It's just kind of get through the early part. He's going to settle in. But he is an absolute football player. He is going to try and, hang in there and make tough throws under pressure. He's going to extend plays. He's not afraid to run and use his legs. And to me, it's the lack of the individual approach to it, where how many of these guys, like I think of like going back to USC. Remember they have like big wins and they climb the ladder and they wave the sword. Like I just have an image of Sam having to be drug up to the top of that ladder. Like he doesn't want to be up there as the center of attention and as somebody who, is above everyone else. He's just one of the 11 guys. So I think that it's a fair way to look at him, but he is going to be required, in order to navigate all the way through this tournament. There's going to be moments and drives that he's going to have to really step up and come through. And I do think he's fully capable of doing that.
How big a deal, Charles Cross contract? You link that in with Abe Lucas at right tackle. You've got inked, I think, through 28. Gray Zabel through 28, 29. Sundell is still a really young guy. As now you got your cornerstone and Cross lined up for the next 5 years. How big a deal for the line of scrimmage for this team?
Well, I was just reading something on the Browns this morning about the fact that they have 0 starting linemen under contract for next year. So I would prefer the Seattle approach of having a very talented, good group under contract versus having no talent and nobody under contract. And one team's looking for another head coach and the other one's got the number 1 seed. I think it's a huge deal, and letting these guys grow together. And I don't know what the behind the scenes stuff was on the Cross deal, but to me it made sense of like, hey, it's a good faith gesture on the organization side, just from the outside looking in, which is, I know you're nicked up, man, and maybe you have to go out there not 100%, but we're going to just take that off your mind of like what could happen and what this could potentially cost you. We're going to take care of you. Go out there, play free. Don't worry about, re-injuring anything. I do think that's a good faith gesture on the organization's part.
Well, this has been a pretty deep conversation for 15 minutes or so, Salk. Do you think we should continue with the depth of it? Play DJ the question that you asked. Yeah, I mean it was a hard question for Coach McDonald yesterday, DJ.
Remember when we used to just talk about food and stuff on here? We've come a long way.
Road trips, board games. Salk asked Coach McDonald yesterday, Like, why? Tell me, why John Schneider should be executive of the year. I think a fairly innocuous question, but man, it got deep pretty fast.
Give me the number one reason why.
Man.
For me, the number one reason why?
No, not you.
No.
Sorry, I'm playing it. This is what I asked.
This
John
is the clip.
Schneider. This is the clip.
This is the clip, bro. Listen.
Okay.
Yeah, don't talk
Roll
over
it.
Don't talk over the clip. Give me the number
Roll it.
one reason why.
Man. Conviction.
His conviction in his decision making.
In his vision.
Vita Vea had the longest.
It's a pretty good pause.
It's 7 seconds in the history of our show. That one pushed 17 yesterday, DJ.
Wait, are we back? Am I back with you now?
You're back with us now, yeah.
Sure. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I know it was live and what was taped. That was awesome. That was awesome. Yeah. I mean, I think caught off guard would be a very appropriate term there with that. But I almost can see him. I can almost see Coach sitting there going, "Oh, don't single out one move because then it's discrediting to the other guys," and like trying to politically correct play that. And then almost realizing like, well, I better hurry up and say something. Or it looks like I'm not, a believer in John and the unbelievable job that he's done.
You could almost see the wheels turning around in the head there, trying to come up with the best way to answer.
Can I just tell you right now, if you would have asked Jim Harbaugh that question, he would have talked for 15 straight minutes. He would have mentioned every single player on the roster.
Sure.
He would have mentioned every practice squad player that they like, because he would. So what he would do, he would go through the entire list of everything. So there's two ways to approach it when you don't want to get in trouble for you either say nobody or you have to say everybody, and that's the difference between those two coaches.
Can we spend just a couple minutes on the NFC here and the 3 games this weekend? Let's just run through them and just give me a quick take on what you expect, because one of these teams is going to end up coming to Seattle the following week. So Saturday, you get the Rams at Carolina. What do you see?
Well, Carolina beat them, but they had to double them up. They had to double them up. They run the ball twice as much as they threw it. They had to turn Matt Stafford over 3 times. They had to dominate time of possession by 10 minutes. That's just a tall order. I don't think they can do that again.
Then you get Green Bay, Chicago after that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the third time with these teams. Both have come down to the very end. I just think that Green Bay's inability to rush the quarterback, I think they have like 1 sack or something in their last 4 games. I think that's going to be their Achilles heel in that one.
So you think Chicago wins that game?
I think Chicago will win. Yeah.
And then finally you get San Francisco at Philadelphia.
Yeah, I don't want. I mean, Philadelphia, I think they were smart to rest. I know they got grief. They could have got up to the 2 seed. I think their team is equipped to play on the road as well as anybody. If they get Saquon going, their defense, their fans are gonna fill up a third of the stadium anyways. I think they end up hammering San Francisco.
Yeah, and they're at home. That's in Philadelphia. So you see the Seahawks playing the Rams.
That's where they start. But I think that of the teams, like to me, Philly had to make the choice of whether they cared about last week, and I think they were smart because they're going to be fresh for this week.
So you see game number 3, rubber match between the Seahawks and Rams here at Lumen Field in another couple weeks.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. It'll be an absolute war.
Fun how?
I think that'll be the decider of who goes through.
Kind of hoping Green Bay beats Chicago. I'd really like to see them avoid the Rams for another week or so, if possible. I think that'd be nice.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah,
just rip the Band-Aid off.
Leave it to the title game. Hey, what happened to Pete in Vegas? DJ, what happened to Pete in Vegas?
I mean, they don't have the roster's bad. The roster's bad, but also Pete didn't do himself any favors, and I don't want to, look, you love your family, but that was an offensive line that individually everyone got worse, and collectively they were awful. So I mean that was a tough one.
It's too bad. It really is such a sad way for the whole Pete Carroll conversation and story to end. It was such a good story of him, redeeming himself in the NFL after the years in college. And it's just such a bummer to see.
I know, but it happens all the time in sports. I mean, I watched Fernando Valenzuela pitch for the Padres.
Yeah, I know. What? Where do you think Clint Kubiak goes? Do you think he goes anywhere as a head coach? Do you think he's back next year with Seattle? His name seems to be coming up quite a bit for some of these open jobs.
He seems to be the number one offensive candidate. Everyone feels like that's a stronger pool of defensive candidates for the head coaching cycle this year, but everyone you talk to has him as the top offensive guy. And the sheer number of openings we have, I find it hard to believe that he wouldn't snag one of those.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, that's the way NFL owners will think, right? They won't think who's going to make the best head coach. They'll think who's the best coordinator and who will do the best job with the offense or who will do the best job with the defense. They pay almost no attention to who would make the best head coach and executive kind of above the entire coaching staff.
Well, I would say that this is a conversation of who's the best head coach, and of the names that come up, 5 of the top 6 names that come up just happen to be defensive guys. Mm-hmm. And I don't think anybody's hiring Jesse Minter just because of the scheme. I think he does. I think Mike McDonald's success is going to help him a heck of a lot.
Sure.
Going forward, but there's not a lot of offensive names, in this round. So Stefanski's going to be, now that he's available, I guess I should have put him up there at the very top, but there's not many of them.
Atlanta probably the biggest threat of the 6 available. If you're Gary Kubiak and Kubiak's son, Clint, and you're going to evaluate the whole situation and look at fits and look at ownership and look at personnel and look at, just lifestyle, do you think Atlanta probably the biggest draw for him?
Yeah. I mean, to me, if it were the Giants were to be an opportunity, that's the top available job for me. Just because you have more clarity at the quarterback position. Atlanta, Penix can't stay healthy, and you've got, Kirk, who's been, played well down the stretch, but I don't know what you're going to do there. I just don't know how you feel super confident in the quarterback situation.
But you feel like there's clarity with the Giants because Penix can't stay healthy?
I would take Jackson Dart over Penix.
I mean, if Jackson Dart isn't concussing himself every other week, what did he get checked 8 times this year for a concussion?
Yeah, I feel a lot more confident about being able to coach him to go out of bounds than to coach Penix's knees to hold together.
I don't know. I might feel more comfortable coaching Penix's knees. I think I might have like a good conversation with those knees.
I mean, Jackson Dart doesn't have near the injury history going back all the way 5 or 6 years that Penix does.
He may end up getting a concussion just going like trying to put Cirulo marks into his running back or something. I don't know. I don't like the way I don't like the way that's going for Jackson Dart, who I want to like.
You think DJ caught your Wildcat reference?
I doubt it. I doubt it.
What was it?
You ever seen Wildcats? Goldie Hawn movie about football?
Yeah, when I was 7. I don't remember it.
Whoa! Easy. Let's.
I haven't watched it.
Couple minutes.
I haven't seen it in a couple decades.
Well, that's on you. The greatest football movie ever made. You better go back and watch that sucker, man.
Stop.
Well, you're not gonna watch
off the top of my head. Remember the Titans. I'll take Necessary Roughness over,
that's
over
just
that
silly.
one.
Obviously,
you're just aging yourself here.
I mean, you're being silly. I mean, you're just trying to make a point, and sometimes people start exaggerating when they're trying to make a point, and that's what you're doing. I've done it. I understand. Kind of a hot take.
Show me the arm, Pumpkin. Hey, throw the ball, genius. There's just way more memorable lines in that movie.
When we talk to you next week at this time, I think we're preparing for Seahawks-Rams. So
yeah, that's going to be an absolute war. It's going to be fun. Hey, what a year for Seattle sports, though, huh?
Best ever. Never happened before. Cool. Both Mariners, Seahawks in their division. Never, ever happened.
And you got a big wild card game as well, right? Chargers and Patriots this week. So enjoy it. We'll definitely want to hear about that experience, and we'll talk next Tuesday. Thanks, man.
See you guys.
All right, good stuff. Daniel Jeremiah, of course, every week, and looking forward to next week. Should be awesome. And once we know the opponent and can start to really prepare for what that looks like. Okay, huge day today, and I think everything's kind of worked out timing-wise. At 7:30, we will definitely get the opportunity to talk to Joel Klatt, who's going to have a lot to say, I would think, about Damon Williams, plus where the Seahawks are at. 8:30 with Bryan Walters, and then 9:30 this morning, John Forslund talking Kraken, who are just outside of first place themselves. So stick around. There's a lot to come today. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
2025. What a ride.
And the Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
How many did we play? 15 innings?
15 innings.
The fans literally standing the whole game.
One of the most amazing games ever.
2026, you have some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. That's the thing.
A good indication of what happens next.
This feels like a beginning.
This is where you hear it happen. Happy New Year from Seattle Sports.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Olympic Hot Tub's New Year, New You event will help put you on a healthier path in 2026. Enjoy special savings on our entire wellness lineup of saltwater hot tubs, saunas, cold plunges, and swim spas. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Do you get sinus infections, congestion, sinus pressure and pain, sinus headaches? You've gone to the doctor. You visit urgent care over and over again. And it's always the same thing, right? Oh, I know. Let's try antibiotics and some nasal sprays. But they just keep coming back. You may suffer with chronic sinus infections. The good news? Relief is possible. How? A minimally invasive procedure called the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic. Imagine a procedure so delicate there are no narcotics. Less cutting means less bleeding, so no packing, and no operating room. The Sinusoft procedure is designed for the clinic. If you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, and congestion, find out if the Sinusoft procedure, available only at the Modern Nose Clinic, is the solution for you. Call and set an appointment today. 206-388-2770. 206-388-2770. That's 206-388-2770.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
The NFL playoffs are here, and it all starts with Wild Card Weekend powered by Verizon.
Man, it all comes down to this.
12 teams, 6 games, 3 days, and 1 epic weekend.
My goodness!
It's win or go home, and every moment counts on the road to Super Bowl 60.
It's a touchdown!
Wild Card Weekend powered by Verizon. January 10th through 12th. Visit watch.nfl.com for the full schedule.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Give me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to accuse you of manners.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Hello! What is going on, Brock? What is happening with Damon Williams, UW, and the state of college football in 2026? This story kind of has it all. I mean, like this is the perfect encapsulation, like the perfect topic generator. I would imagine that this should be like all day on ESPN and all of their argument shows and debate shows and all of that, because there's so many interesting sides and notes and ways to view this sucker.
Yeah.
What was your reaction when you saw
My
yesterday?
reaction was, I blame you and Jay Billis, the two guys at the front of the line that wanted to deconstruct the whole. This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. You wanted kids making $4 million and opting out 4 days later.
I think you know that's not true, and I know that's not what you thought when this happens.
It's about the fifth thought. I'm like, I wonder what Billis and Ray and Salk and all these guys think. This thing is just totally broken. It was way down the ladder, and I'm mostly joking. My first thought is this is pretty gross. This is really gross. And how in the world and what paradigm do we live in where professional athletics is pure, right, loyal, and all things good, and college athletics is everything dirty, filthy, tainted, and gross? How did this happen in our lifetime? I mean, it was seriously like, oh, Goodell's the evil. This commissioner's Satan, and these owners are the worst, and this is the most disloyal, and it's awful. Like, we don't talk about that much anymore. And in fact, we got a lot of really neat, wholesome stars in our community. There's Cal. Oh, there's Julio. Oh, these guys are going to be here forever. Oh, these are pillars of our community. And then here is this college thing that is just the most broken, disgusting, greedy model you could possibly have.
So when you say greedy,
regulation.
who do you think is being greedy?
Everybody is. Everybody is. Coaches are, players are, like both sides of it are. Commissioners are, right? Conferences are, like
TV networks, the whole
TV
deal.
networks are. Everybody is.
It's funny. I mean, obviously, I agree with a lot of what you had to say there. I'm finding it hard, though, in this particular case, to get too upset at the kid for taking the money, and that's. I'm going to separate that out from the way he announced it and when he announced it, because letting his teammates find out about this while they're at the funeral service, the memorial service for the soccer player that died, Mia Hammond. I mean, it's just all awful. Like, don't get me wrong. I am not in any way backing that up. But he's never going to make it in the NFL, right? He's never going to make a dime in the NFL in all likelihood.
Well, I don't know that. I mean, he would not be like a first-round prototypical kind of guy, but I mean, he is a dynamic dude.
Okay, but there's a real question and concern that he's like the ultimate college football quarterback that can have a ton of success in college, and probably it doesn't have a great path to making real money. There's a legitimate chance anyway that this is the best shot he's ever got to make this kind of money. If it's an extra $2 million,
I think that's fair.
So let's say it's an extra $2 million more than he could have made at UW. I can't blame him for that. If this is like his last best chance to make that kind of cash.
But understand something really clearly, because I did a little homework on this one, because I figured we'd talk about it today.
Yeah.
Understand really clearly, on January 2nd, he signs a contract that is as explicitly black and white as it can be. And that contract says, upon these millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, you give away your right to go in the transfer portal.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's.
But we live in 2026. Nothing has meaning anymore, Brock.
Pretty standard fare.
But nothing has meaning.
Well, your contract has meaning.
No.
My contract has meaning.
No, it doesn't.
Really?
What contract?
The contract you signed with our company?
I never signed it. Say I didn't do it. What do you mean?
Oh.
I mean, like, the facts, they don't mean anything. So, yeah, whatever. I don't care. Oh, I signed it? Whatever.
Well,
But it
this
doesn't
is
mean
kind of,
anything.
I mean, the plot thickens, and this is the other beauty is, well, actually, his agency is Jed Fish's agency. So of
course it is.
Of course it is. Like, you just can't write some of this stuff. So no, there were agents involved and I'm sure there was notary involved, and there were things involved, and it's all by the book, and this is what it is. When you're talking this many millions of dollars,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not talking about, hey man, you're going to make $1 million, and the market says you should make $4 million. You're making market value plus. So
I know, but look, so let's say that market value is 4, and LSU or Miami or Texas A&M, whoever it is, offers them 6. If I'm Damon Williams, I'm not even going to think twice. Yeah, sorry.
Really? You're just going to totally?
Yes, if that's the last chance I ever have to make that kind of money, 100% yes, and I'll live off the interest on the extra $2 million for the rest of my life. See ya.
I think he's going to, unfortunately, be the face. I think what's going to happen here, honestly, and that's all the what happened, but what moving forward, I don't think the players in this case have what they had 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago when we started this argument about all of this. I think you lose in the court of public opinion. I think it has gotten to that level and to that point where, you know what, Salk, 5-10 years ago, okay, yeah, I'm going to be on the side of the student athlete. They're the ones that get hosed. They're the ones that, have been taken advantage of. They're the ones, I don't think that's the case anymore. I think the fan who are paying, I think the boosters that are paying, I think the narrative that has changed, that this thing is just out of control. And when you sign something so explicitly, so black and white, and then you're going to turn 3 days later, I'm sorry, you lose me.
Well, I totally agree. I understand that will happen.
So that's why I think the university is going to fight this. And I think, honestly, Jed Fish is pretty remarkable face.
And what does that mean to fight it? So they're going to fight it on principle. So what? Let's say they win. Let's say they win in a court, okay? What, you're going to play him next year? I mean, I would assume if I were the coach and you won that battle and he's got to come back next year, I'd sit him on the bench. Like, okay, you're just going to have to, sit in purgatory for the year. Like, you're not going to let him play, are you? After he tried to leave and you're so mad at him that you're suing him?
Well,
you don't want him on your team anymore.
Like you said, he's still the young man. The powers that play in this, the money market managers, the agents, those folks, those are the ones that are helping drive a lot of this decision. Those are the adults that are driving this.
Okay.
So he still is the young man in that case that, and unfortunately that young man is going to go through the whole legal process, and he's going to possibly be the tip of the spear for a lot of this narrative.
Well, that's what I wonder, if he sort of becomes the Ed O'Bannon test case going the other way. And I think there's probably a chance that happens. The sad thing is, and I know you were joking at the beginning by saying this is what Jay Billis and I wanted. It's obviously not, but I think I think it's so sad that it went this way. It didn't have to go this way. We've heard so many other ideas of how this could have worked in order to give athletes their fair share so that, essentially they weren't free labor that were allowing other people to make gazillions of dollars without it turning into this, anarchy of what it is now, with no one in charge and no rules, no regulations, no common sense, no nothing. This whole thing is absurd. Believe me, I'm not defending the idea that once he signs a contract, somebody else can offer him one and he says, oh, see you later. But I think we live in a world where somebody texted in, nice Salk, I guess integrity means nothing anymore. No kidding. That is unfortunately the world we're now living in here, where integrity doesn't mean a whole lot anymore. And I wish it did. It's not like I want the world to be that way, but that does seem to be the world we live in. And when it's the wild, wild west out there, and coaches leave every couple of days.
That college football world has, right now, nearly 0.0 integrity.
Right. So why should he be held to any higher standard than anyone else? Why is he held to a higher standard than Lane Kiffin?
This would be the ultimate, I guess, integrity test when you sign something 3 days later, and that something is as clear and as black and white as it can possibly be, with the penalties and because you're talking about, again, not little money. Shedeur Sanders was a 5th-round pick, Salk, signed a 4-year contract for $4 million. So this kid's going to make more than that in this year.
Right.
Would have here at the University of Washington.
And now he's going to make even more than that somewhere else.
We'll see.
We'll see. I find it hard to blame anybody who in this system is out for themselves and trying to do whatever they can to maximize their value. I don't know the kid from Adam. I don't know if he's a good kid or a bad kid. Quite frankly, I've barely watched him play. But I really think the whole thing is a fascinating conversation.
And this is the one that stings the absolute most, is you just send a zinger to your teammates. I mean, that when you talk about, hey, man, could this guy come back? And what about the coaches? And I can make a case, that, again, that he's a young man and he can point the finger at his agents and his business people. But he's the one that did it. And he's the one who sent that Instagram post out at a time where he knew where all of his teammates were.
Right.
I mean, it is as ugly as ugly.
I don't see how you could possibly. I mean, if I'm UW, honestly, I understand that this is a tip of the spear kind of case. Like, this is the type of case that sets precedent for years to come.
Oh, it does.
I get it. But if I'm UW,
think if you let him out of this, what is that going to do to every player that follows?
I totally understand the precedent is bad, but I don't want him back.
Don't the coaches that leave all the time sign contracts? Why is it different for
their
them?
contracts give them these outs, though, right? It gives them the opportunity.
I'm assuming Damon Williams has an agent.
But
they've read the contract.
Oh, yeah, but these contracts, well, there's a whole nother layer to that I was chatting with some legal counsel about yesterday, too. So, yeah, we'll have some fun today. But more, they don't have as explicitly a deal, or they have, paybacks and buyouts, and you got to pay back, $50 million or $40 million.
And this kid doesn't have a payback where he's just got to pay back the $4 million or whatever.
No.
It's amazing what this NIL thing's turned into, because the whole idea was supposed to be so these athletes could make $2,000 signing autographs at your local Olive Garden, and now it's turned into this.
Yes.
Chasing millions of dollars.
Really feels like there should be something in between. If only there was somebody in charge to actually do this. All right, we'll come right back here, Brock. Let's give people everything they need to know. Joel Klatt will have a whole lot more on this coming up in 20. We got Bryan Walters today. We got John Forslund today with the Red Hot Kraken. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
And so we are set.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle.
Seattle is going to win this football game. A single-season franchise record of 14 wins. The fourth #1 seed in franchise history.
Reaction.
Just incredibly proud of them.
Conversation.
Hopefully the next trip is going to be back down here for the Super Bowl.
Complete coverage at SeattleSports.com and the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Here's what you can look forward to when you get your windows replaced. The whole house being way warmer and a lot quieter. Dave Wyman here, and when we had finally had it with our old windows with broken seals, we called Harley Exteriors. They were incredibly friendly, professional, and absolutely knew their stuff. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade. They keep heat in and noise out. Plus, they're truly gorgeous windows. I said, you guys must use a different type of glass, and sure enough, it's their Olympic Series, which is manufactured here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Harley Exteriors has a special offer for Seattle sports fans. Buy one window and get the second 40% off. No payments or interest until 2027, and take an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today. That's harleyexteriors.com.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit buckys.com.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Breast cancer is a tough battle for anyone to fight. But when you can't work, care for your kids, or even put food on the table, that diagnosis can be devastating. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda, a plastic surgeon who is proud to support Northwest Hope and Healing. Our mission is to provide a lifeline for breast and gynecologic cancer patients. We cover essentials like food, utilities, and childcare, so patients can focus on healing. For more than 25 years, Northwest Hope and Healing has distributed over $3 million to thousands of local cancer patients, and you can help make a difference in our community. Join us on Saturday, January 31st, for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of fine wine, gourmet cuisine, and inspiration at Mary Hill Winery in the heart of Woodinville wine country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support on January 31st. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more. That's nwhopeandhealing.org.
At Cressy Door, we not only have the perfect garage door for your home, but we also offer options for creating space and even warming your outdoor areas. Check out your options at cressydoor.com.
Compassion, communication, results. That's Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com. That's pendergastlaw.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Want to make 2026 your year of adventure? Book that trip and learn a new language with Babbel. Go ahead, make a resolution you can stick to. Now is the time. Babbel's New Year sale is here. Unlock all of the languages on Babbel with the lifetime subscription for 65% off. Just go to babbel.com and start today. Babbel teaches you relevant words and phrases so you can start speaking with confidence in as little as 3 weeks. And because Babbel's bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are easy to remember, you'll be talking like a local in time for takeoff. Dive into the world of language learning content with Babbel's videos, podcasts, and stories from around the world, full of culture bites and language learning tips. Turn your daydream into a destination this year with Babbel. But don't wait. This offer ends January 15th. Get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Success, Brock, amazing. So fun when it's happening. There's nothing better than watching your team win. But we all know windows are shorter than we want them to be, and the NFL really tries to make sure of it. You talked about it the other day. Schedule's going to get harder. The players get more expensive. And the rest of the league, they want your assistance. 7 vacancies now in the NFL. And the Seahawks coordinators are in demand. Clint Kubiak has requested to interview 4, the Giants, Cardinals, Raiders, and Falcons, according to Albert Breer yesterday. So that's 4 of the 7. Defensive coordinator Adam Dirty, candidate in Cleveland already, and maybe in other spots.
Say no. Just say no.
All right. Well, I wonder if anyone's going to want to talk to special teams guru Jay Harbaugh, given the success of the special teams here, knowing that his Uncle John made a pretty successful leap from special teams into the head coaching job. I know Jay's only 36, but I mean, there's going to be a brain drain, whether it's this year or next.
Yep. This is why the league is always, fighting for level, man, in every single way. Draft, salary cap, as you mentioned, strength of schedule. You lose your coaches, and the reality, we know this. And it's why there is so much turnover every year. The reality is there's not qualified CEOs to do that job well. And just look at Mike McDonald's class. Those 8 coaches that were hired in his hiring cycle, how many of them remain in their current job, Salk? 4. Wow. So 50% bust rate.
Yeah, and we'll see. They're already talking about Dan Quinn. If they have an opportunity to grab John Harbaugh in Washington, that would be yet another one. So the John Harbaugh thing is interesting. So he's officially out in Baltimore. That opens up another job, but it also puts another heavy hitter out on the market.
Yep.
New York, maybe he's got the leverage to push out Joe Shane and bring somebody in who's good and who he likes. Could a team like the Jets or somebody else fire their coach now that he's available and say, hey, this is too good to pass up?
Yep.
And I'll ask the question, and again, I don't want this to be misconstrued. If I were in charge of the Ravens, the first call I would be making is to Mike Macdonald to see if there's a possibility. I'm not saying Mike says yes.
Mike, just leave the contract.
Right, exactly. Well, there's trades, but there's trades in the NFL. We've seen it for coaches. I'm not saying the Seahawks would pick up the phone or say yes, or that Mike would have any interest. Believe me. But if I'm the Ravens, I would want to find out.
I was curious when some of the odds came out with some of these different coaches where and if Mike Macdonald would even be on that list, and he was not.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah,
Deion was. I think Deion was 66-1. So Deion was on that list.
I said this earlier, and a couple people wrote in, like, Salk, shame on you for saying the Seahawks would even pick up the phone. I'm not saying they would pick up the phone. I think they probably would not. But if I were in Baltimore, I would be making the call and seeing if there was any opportunity now that I see exactly what Mike Macdonald has
one of
turned
the front
into.
runners, and one of the front runners for that is Jesse Minter, who would kind of fit the Mike Macdonald mold of being a young guy, being in a lot of places, being with the Harbaughs in Michigan, in Baltimore, in L.A., doing an amazing job with that Chargers defense. And is he the kind of leader of men that Mike Macdonald is? Who knows? The numbers tell you got about a, I don't know, 1 in
10 shot, maybe?
1 in 10 shot, and maybe being that kind of leader.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Well, we just spent a while on it, but UW in the national conversation, not really for the right reasons. Damon Williams announcing yesterday he's entering the transfer portal just days after signing a large contract to play here next year. He posted it also during the Mia Hammond Memorial, the soccer player who had passed away this season. And the school is expected to take legal action against him. LSU, Miami, believed to be front runners. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think those are the two. No, I don't think it's anybody else but those two. LSU has come up short on a couple of their free agent targets. Sorsby, the QB out of Cincinnati, went to Texas Tech for a lot of money. I think this is Sam Levitt at ASU, Lyle's guy at ASU that, got injured kind of during the year and decided to sit out the rest of the year, knowing that these many millions could be on the other side of it, and LSU was hosting him. But LSU and Miami seem to be the two schools with millions and millions and millions of dollars they want to spend.
We'll have a lot more on this with Joel Klatt coming up in less than 10 minutes.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Break up the Kraken, Brock. Break up the Kraken. They're playing great hockey all of a sudden. They dropped 7 last night on the Bruins. I was there. It was great. The rookie, Berkeley Catton, had his first and second career goals. That was awesome. They've won 8 of 9 points in 9 straight. Jared McCann has been a big part of that.
Zone kept by Dunn. One final hope. McCann with it. He scores! Did he beat the clock? We'll see. The green light is on. Jared McCann from downtown.
He did beat the clock by half a second. Amazing.
Can you help me understand something?
Sure.
Is this atypical or normal in the NHL world? And not just this season.
Yeah.
Remember, it was a couple years ago. The Kraken went on a road trip.
I know.
Right? And they won like 13 in a row.
straight, yeah.
Yes. Is this kind of outside the norm, or is this
feels outside the norm to
starts
me.
with an expansion team and coaching changes and personnel changes that you're going to see some of these wild rides where you lose 9 in a row, and now you've won. You've not lost in 9 games. You're 8-0-1.
I don't have an answer for you. All I can tell you is they're playing really good hockey.
Man.
Mason Marchment moved on, and it just seemed to free up the entire rest of the team. And some of that is who they were able to bring up to replace him, and some of the energy they're getting from the bottom of the roster.
Right? I mean, Shane Wright and Beniers.
I'm telling you, I was at the game last night. Some of the guys you don't even know are playing. Ben Meyer's playing really good hockey. I've mentioned Melanson a few times. He's playing really good. Cartier's been in and out of the lineup. He was back in last night. He played well. Winterton's played really well.
Your Finnish guy, Kakko?
Kakko had 2 goals last night.
Oh, my God.
I know. They're just, everyone's playing well. I don't know what to tell you. That is everything you need to know. 9:15.
Not quite everything we need to know. Salk went to the doctor yesterday.
All right.
No,
we're not talking about this right now.
Why not?
Because I don't want to. How about that? Because I don't want to talk about it.
Were you 5'10"?
They said I was 5'10".
You've told me your whole life you're 5'10".
I know I am 5'10". That's what they told me.
I need to see the report.
Huh?
I need to see the report.
I have the picture. I'll send it to you in a few minutes. She wrote down 5'10". Yeah.
She did, huh?
Yeah, she did. I watched her. She showed it to me. 509 says, Salk, you've jumped the shark. Think about how ridiculous you sound. This is something that does not happen. Not impossible, but you know as well as I do, there's a 0.0001% chance Baltimore pries McDonald away from Seattle. I'm not telling you they're going to do that. What is wrong with you people? Is that truly what you heard me say, that I think that's going to happen?
Salk, did you weigh in yesterday, or did you tell your doctor?
I'm not answering any more of your questions. It's bad enough I got to deal with Joel Klatt. Actually, I'm glad we got Joel. Today is the perfect day for him. We'll see what he says about this Damon Williams situation. We'll talk Seahawks with him. Stick around. It's next on Brock and Salk.
2025. What a ride.
The Seahawks win 38-37. It's Sauber with the 2-point conversion catch. Holy cow.
So glad we can get done at home in front of the 12s.
2026, you have some big shoes to fill, and we can't wait.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Lumen Field in Seattle.
This is where you hear it happen.
We've won so many different ways all year.
Happy New Year from Seattle Sports.
Hey Hawk fans, Jake Bobo. Stormy weather is here. How's your roof holding up? Give Techline Roofing a call. With the strongest warranty in the business, Techline has you covered. That's Tekline, roofing.com. Trust Techline.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we don't just promise to get the job done, we back it up. No travel charge, no show-up fee, no overinflated pricing, and no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional each and every day. O'Neill Plumbing.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and I did used to wonder about retirement, whether or not I had enough money and whether I was doing it the right way and whether my portfolios, my 401k was working the way it needed to be. And then I met with Trajan Wealth. So now I've got real answers. I've got a real plan. I got a second opinion, which is just so important to make sure that maybe what you have is fine. Maybe you don't need to make any changes, but maybe there are ways you can maximize what you've got and get ready to retire better and sooner with Trajan Wealth. They're not just advisors, they're fiduciaries, and they treated me like family. They asked a lot of questions about me, my risk tolerance level, what I knew about my goals and my timeline. And working with me, they developed a wealth management plan that reflected my values. You can do the same thing. Call Trajan Wealth today at 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300. Or go to TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor, client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
After replacing more than 100,000 failing lenses, we have the experience to tell you if it's your right time for RLE.
Schedule your free Zoom consultation with us about K2 Vision RLE to get your eyes seeing young again, permanently.
Go to K2VisionRLE.com, K2VisionRLE.com.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
I hope all of you are lucky enough to have a coworker like G. Scott who just comes into your office every day and just sort of starts throwing stuff at you like G does to me and to Brock and Maura and Lyle every single morning.
He would be characterized as an irritant. And we've had him in locker rooms. We've had him in work environments.
You consider yourself lucky?
I do, yeah. And G was making me laugh. And sometimes we agree on stuff, and that's always funny. And then when he agrees with you and he gets excited, he points at you. I don't know. It's pretty entertaining. So G and I are I love that guy. Joel Klatt's going to be with us here in just a couple of minutes. In fact, Joel Klatt is with us right now, even better. And what a perfect day, seriously, to have Joel. We've missed him the last couple of weeks, college football stuff. But with the Damon Williams story coming out yesterday, I have to imagine Joel's got a few thoughts on what is happening here at UW and in college football in general. Good morning, Joel. How are you?
Good morning. What's going on, fellas? Good to see you.
Well, this story is pretty explosive, and there's just so many cool angles to it. What do you make of it? What was your first reaction?
I mean, this is part and parcel to everything that's wrong right now in college football. How can we be in a situation where contracts don't matter with coaches, with players, anybody? And I feel really bad for Washington in this scenario. I think Damon Williams is getting bad advice. And I think that there is major tampering going on, rampant in the entire sport. This is not specific to this case, but certainly in this case. And I got to tell you, we desperately need a collectively bargained agreement. Desperately need it. Because if we're not going to get federal legislation to help with guardrails and everything that we're dealing with in college football, then we need a collectively bargained agreement so that we can prevent things like this. When's the last time you ever heard of anything like this? Anything like this? So I feel bad for Washington. I think Damon is getting really bad advice. And I think that there are some desperate teams out there that are throwing obscene and emotional money at what they feel like is a problem and a void at a very important position.
So Washington is going to fight this, Joel, in conversations.
Good. They should. They should. And they should go to the absolute, what is it? Go to the mattresses, right?
So the question then becomes, do you, and I said this to start the show, unlike 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it was always the players. The players always won in the court of public opinion. They're wronged. They don't get what they deserve. You release them from the scholarship. It was always, the general feeling and the public perception was for the player. I do wonder if it has now gotten to a point, and if this is ironclad as they believe it is over there on campus, with a contract that's as black and white as it could possibly be, of what you sign and you're going to get this $4+ million. The other side of that is you're obviously not going in the portal, right? I mean, it's as clear as day to them. I wonder if the court of public opinion, I'm curious your thoughts. Is it now swayed to where that player is not going to get the amount of, sensitivity support that he would have certainly gotten?
I 100% believe that this is going to sway in UW's favor. And there's been a lot of things that have happened over the course of the last month or two in college football that has finally started to, not open up people's eyes, but I think change the way that they ultimately feel about some of these scenarios. I think the Kiffin move from Ole Miss to LSU, most people, and myself included, I'll raise my hand first on this, but I would say, hey, listen, I'm not going to begrudge a guy his opportunities, and if he wants to leave, he wants to leave. But then a guy leaves a playoff team, and you're like, hold on a second. Wait, that's weird. What are we doing? And now, in the transfer portal, listen, there's no doubt, guys, that players were taken advantage of for years. Okay, we know that. We know that. Now, that doesn't mean that you can sign a deal at the top of the market and the next week leave. And everyone's going to be like, well, players 10 years ago got taken advantage of, so DeMond can do this now. That's not how this is going to go. And I think it's going to drive the sport towards change. And we need that. We need that because the one thing that we don't do in college football, the royal we, Salk, you included.
Thank you. It's nice to be included. Thank you.
You bet.
Feels good.
So we need to do is we need to change and build things that are better in our sport, structures that are better, and not wait until there's a train wreck to do it. Because in college football, forever, we've waited for train wrecks and then been like, well, I guess we should fix that, guys. And we are so reactionary in college football and college athletics in general. And we're seeing that play out. Train wreck. Lane Kiffin leaves Ole Miss. Damon Williams signs a deal for $4+ million. Next week leaves. Train wreck. What are we doing? And also a CBA does another thing. If we collectively bargain with the players, then we can also force their agents or representatives to register with that association or with that body. Once that happens, those people are held accountable. So then maybe DeMond doesn't know what he's signing. Now, I doubt that that's the case, and I'm sure he's getting some pretty bad advice. But this is crazy. And I have no doubt in my mind, someone came to him in the last week and said, 4, we'll give you 6. That's what happened.
And I was saying earlier, first of all, thank you. I feel like Goose in Top Gun. It's we, right? We were doing it. We were communicating with the MiG. Thank you for including me like that.
We're inverted.
But I am finding it hard to get too upset at Damon Williams, even though this whole thing is ridiculous. Because as you said,
all that goodwill we just built up. We just had this kumbaya, and now you're going to defend Damon Williams.
No, I'm not going to defend him.
I'm not going to defend him. I don't know what, guys, what's he supposed to do? Honor his word?
But after Lane Kiffin leaves, Lane Kiffin has made millions and will make millions. This is really the only legitimate chance Damon Williams has. He's probably not going to make a ton of money in the NFL. He might not even make the NFL. But with the size and everything, maybe he does. But for an extra $2 million, I at least understand why he is going in that direction. I'm not defending the way he handled it or announcing it to his teammates while they were at a memorial service for his for the UW soccer player who had passed away. It's awful.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. The whole thing is I think you're.
But here you are sitting in his corner.
Not in his corner. I just understand it.
It sounds like you're in his corner.
Okay, fine. I'm in his corner. Yeah,
Okay, that's fine.
yeah.
Just call it spade
Like
a spade. I respect that more. So you're like, hey, listen, the $2 million is better, is more important than what he signed.
Yeah, maybe. If that's the only opportunity he has for the rest of his life to make that kind of money that
he
could
has
change
another
his whole
year
life.
of eligibility too.
Well, then why'd he sign
years.
before the 16th?
I don't know. I can't tell you that. I don't have an
Okay,
answer.
so that's my problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we don't. And by the way, this is a societal issue.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know where you come down on this.
Oh, I'm not sure you
Where's
do,
the
but okay.
personal responsibility? Where is the personal responsibility?
I'm going to guess if I'm Damon Williams, I say, well, when it's been abdicated all throughout society, why do I need to be held to a higher standard than anybody else?
Well, then let's all jump off a bridge. Come on,
We're
it'll
all
be
doing
fun,
that.
Salk.
We're all doing
We're
that.
all doing it. They're all doing it, Salk.
I think
They're
you
all
get
doing
to a
it.
point where there's no personal responsibility.
I refuse as a man to abdicate my responsibility and my character just because the surroundings are screwed up.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to give.
I refuse.
I'm going to. I'll have to wait on this. I was going to give a moderate example here because I think we all know what we're all talking. Everyone's talking about politics, but we're not willing to say it. And I'm going to give you an example on the right and the left at the same time of why I think this is ridiculous. I'm going to give you an example from the left. Why in the world should I have to honor any agreement when the president of the United States makes no attempt whatsoever to do so? End story. Why in the world, here's an argument on the right, should I pay any attention to the laws in Seattle when the government in Seattle is choosing not to prosecute people who are breaking the law on a daily basis and doing things worse than taking my dog on a walk on the beach or whatever it is, taking an illegal U-turn? Why should I pay any attention to any of the laws when nobody else is? I think that we're in a societal issue. It's not on the right, it's not on the left, it's on both sides. And ultimately, Damon Williams is just caught in the middle of it all.
You said exactly what I said. Where is personal responsibility? I wasn't taking a side. I wasn't taking a side at all. In fact, that's a universal. That is a universal.
But you look around and say no one else is. Why should I have to live my life in a way that nobody else is? Look, ultimately in my own life, Joel, you're right. I don't do that. I do live my life with personal responsibility, but I'm not going to get too mad at Damon Williams for getting a couple extra million when everyone else in this society is screwing everybody on a daily basis.
Yeah, listen, I'm not mad at Damon Williams. I just think he's in the wrong. Those are two different things.
I agree with you.
Okay.
All right.
So,
I think we agree.
There you go. So, we reached a conclusion. I think he's in the wrong. He will be in the wrong in the court of public opinion. And if he goes to the place that I think he does, then they have no idea. They have the largest blind spot in America of the way that they think people are perceiving what has gone on at that place. I think you know where he's going, and they don't seem to think that they've done anything wrong in the last month and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And it's wild.
It's just so broken.
He texts me all the time, and he's like, what's Charlie Weiss supposed to do? Coach Ole Miss in the semifinal.
Yeah.
As I said to start the show, Joel, I mean, when you were doing sports radio and morning radio, right, it's a big bad NFL. Oh, just the way they take advantage, and it's just there's no loyalty. And pro sports, baseball, NFL, NBA, it's gross. It's just money making. It's money laundering. It's big business. It's bad. And all of a sudden, the NFL in pro sports is the most pure, beautiful. Yeah. Oh, isn't
like
this
the driven
great?
Snow, Brock. Like the driven snow.
Oh, we love our stars.
I bet we could come up with a couple of examples of where the NFL's not quite so pure, but your point is well taken.
Compared to Little Brother, it is just a night and day remarkable difference.
But it also just goes to show you, like, what guardrails. Like we know the ingredients in the cake in the NFL. And we're okay with it. And we know how it's made. And we know the schedule of how it's made. And we know that guys are like, hey, this is his free agent year. And so no one begrudges that player if he's like, okay, well, it's his free agent year and he's going to go and capitalize. But in college athletics, we don't know if it's your free agent year. Like, imagine a week
absurd.
after a guy signed with the Seattle Seahawks with like a massive free agent deal. And then he was like, you know what? I'm still a free agent.
So, like,
it would be like
if somebody just signed up to be the head coach of, I don't know, the New York Jets, and a few days later wrote on a napkin, I resign, and in fact, I'm going to go to their rival in the same division. It would just break everything. We'd never be able to continue down the path with that
Great
sport.
example, but I think that.
But that example did change everything. After that, they started trading for coaches, and things changed after that. That was the train wreck example in the NFL that sort of opened it up to a process.
Put on when movement would happen and so on and so forth. And I apologize. I constantly talk over you guys, and it's only because our conversation is really good. I like
all
to
we
jump
do,
in.
Joel,
we talk over each other.
That's all we do on this show.
Can we spend just a couple minutes on the Seahawks?
6 minutes, please.
Yeah,
7.
Go for it.
I'd love to.
Sam Darnold. Sammy Darnold. Has he rewritten some of the narrative with a comeback against L.A., with a win in Carolina, with a win in San Francisco? Has Sam Darnold quieted some of the storm?
I didn't want to do this. I've never felt less confident about the 2 number 1 seeds in the NFL playoffs than I do this year.
That's our sister station. That's a Bonneville Media-owned sister station.
I know. I was just on with them. I literally just left their show, and I was like, guys, I'm sorry. The Broncos are a paper tiger. And it was just like crickets. They were just like.
Mike Evans going to have your head.
Oh, Schlereth and Stokely want to punch you right in the face.
You can't think the Seahawks are paper tigers, though.
No, I don't think the Seahawks are paper tigers because the defense is legit.
It's
legit. Now, the issue on the NFC side, see, the AFC side is bonkers. Like, I don't trust really anybody. I trust elements of some of those teams on the AFC side, but maybe the team that I trust holistically the most is the Jaguars, which is wild. But I think you would probably agree with that. Like, I trust the Texans defense. I trust Josh Allen. You know, like the AFC is a bit different. The NFC, Seattle is a very good team. And at home, they're going to be really difficult to beat. But they're going to have to beat, like, really good team. Like, the Rams are very good, and Stafford is very good. The Eagles are still the reigning Super Bowl champs. And, you know, like, you're still going to have to beat the Eagles. And let's face it, like, I know that they played great last week against San Francisco. I mean, they really did. They played phenomenal, especially on defense. But San Francisco is still a really good team, you know, and San Francisco came up to Seattle and played really well the last time they were there, if I'm not mistaken. So that's more of where it lies for me on the NFC side. The AFC side, honestly, I don't trust Denver. I don't think that they're a great team.
Come back to Brock's first question, though. Hold on. Do you trust Sam Darnold?
No, I'm sorry. That's why I can't.
Joel, you and I mean, that's kind of what I've been saying. And Brock got really mad at me about it the other day because I said, I like Sam Darnold. And when he plays the way he did.
Joel, were you the guy in the infantry that had the fire gun? Were you just the fire starter?
Listen, we're not going foxhole infantry style talk here.
You could just go to Predator if you want.
Seahawks. I'm not going into the, like, you must be loyal infantry talk.
So what would it take?
With the military stuff right here, and it's tugging on my heartstrings.
What would it take for you to trust Sam Darnold?
I think they're going to have to win the Super Bowl. Because at some point, because we've seen him in his career look great for an extended period, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, there's the 3 turnover game.
Is that true for everyone?
Now,
then?
To be fair,
like, do you trust Josh Allen?
Stafford did the same thing against Carolina earlier in the year. Do
you trust Josh Allen? Do you trust Lamar? Do you trust anyone who's never won a Super Bowl?
Well, Lamar's not in the playoffs.
No, I know. Just in general, like, do you trust them even though they've never won the Super Bowl?
I trust guys that have done it for a sustained, like, I trust Patrick Mahomes. Even though he turned it over against Carolina, I trust Matt Stafford. And, yeah, I trust Josh Allen. Like I've seen, I trust Joe Burrow. I've seen that, you know, whereas the guys that perpetually come up short, it's harder for me.
You trust Trevor Lawrence?
I have no idea. Trust his hair.
Great answer.
It's so hard. It's so hard because he's so many things that you want to love, Joel. He is so much of what you preach and believe in. Right?
I know.
On time.
But then he trips over the center and the ball hits the ground against, on a handoff. And you're like, no, my gosh.
I think DJ says it best. I think he said it again yesterday. You are like, and you and Salk are getting to this stage of life where your kids are starting to compete and perform at, different activities and everything else. DJ said, I'm like a scared parent up in the stands. I just watch it as a parent that's just so badly wants my kid to succeed. And there's just a little angst in the belly.
You're like, come on. Come on.
It was suggested to me, and then I ended up writing about it, that maybe the way to view Sam is not as a quarterback, but as a football player, and that kind of helps change the view on him a little bit, and some of his abilities and strengths lie in being part of the team, lie in what he does do, maybe not necessarily focusing on the challenges with the turnovers.
At this stage, you don't win a Super Bowl unless you have historically elite defense. You do not win a Super Bowl unless your quarterback plays great.
They might have historically elite defense.
You watch his defense.
I do love the defense.
The numbers tell you.
I love myself some Mike McDonald now.
And the underlying numbers, Joel, like the underlying numbers with the EPA, the DVOA, all the it's up there. It's up there with the 13 crew. It's with the no-fly zone, with the 85 bear. Like what they are doing in this league, as Salk has said repeatedly, in this league, with the rules in this league,
and at home, with that crowd noise. If he just doesn't turn it over, we're back to scared parent mode. Like, come on, man. Like, you can do it. Just don't trip.
I'll be more trusting. If he beats the Rams and or the Eagles, I think I will convert. That would really.
I think that's fair.
That would really change my mind. Fair. Those two defenses was one thing. San Francisco's defense is in trouble.
You right?
Yeah. Do I? Yeah, of course I'm right. Yeah.
You right?
I thought you were saying I'm right, which I was like, yeah, of course I am. But I do right.
I never said that. I've never said that one time the entire year.
Hey, I heard you got to get going.
You write articles?
I do.
Yes.
Columns, yeah.
Huh. Doesn't show.
Good. Good.
That's nice. I appreciate that. Joel, thank you. Great arguing with you.
Seriously,
this was good.
I love it.
Love the perspective today. I know you got to get going, so let you go a minute too early. But thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
We'll do it next week.
Hopefully we can do it next week.
Okay,
yeah, no
cool.
doubt.
There you go. There's Joel Klatt. Awesome stuff from Fox's lead college football analyst. And I'm sorry to make it political. But there comes a point where we're all talking about the same thing without saying it, and I can't deal with that. So we don't generally talk politics or religion, but now we've done it in 2 straight days here with 2 of our favorite guests.
You saw Lumberg 3, whatever he is, right? He lurched into the room yesterday. And you left, and with a little ruler, I heard him whisper, oh, gosh. Really?
Well, I'm sorry to do it, but I tried to make it as both sidesy as possible. I don't know. But I do think that's what we're talking about.
It's personal responsibility. Like, I know. In the end, when you boil it all down, and Salk, it is, you honor your contracts. You wouldn't do that.
Of course that.
Mora wouldn't do that.
But I think Joel said it right, Brock. I hate to give him so much credit, but he's right. I'm not mad at him, but he's in the wrong. I think that's a great way of saying it. And I'm sorry I didn't come up with that. That's probably what I was trying to say, but Joel said it much better, which is why he makes a lot more money and has a bigger platform than I do. Like, that's right. He's in the wrong, but I'm not mad at him for it if it's $2 more million in this ridiculous system that he's been placed into.
I think like 10 years ago, I would have probably been mad.
Right.
There's a lot of me, and this has been kind of a common response. I got more texts last night from college football friends and people like, you're almost becoming numb to it. It's just almost so like such a train wreck, and you've watched so many of these train wrecks, or I'm sure like an emergency room doctor, right? That the first day on the job is like, oh, I know I've trained for this. I know I've done this, but I'm at Harborview, and this is nonstop, and this is chaos. But 5 years in, 10 years in, you're pretty numb to whatever comes through the doors there because you've seen just about everything. Kind of numb to it as far as like the emotion and trying to create all this rage for Damon Williams. I don't have that. I don't have that. It's a rage in the system that is, again, so sick and so broken.
I just can't hold him to a higher standard than Lane Kiffin or anybody else. I can't do it. I can't do it.
You also do realize, like, he's not in the same boat as the other 84 guys on his team. Like,
I know.
He's the rainmaker. He's the
get
one
it.
making.
I know.
He's the one that affects and impacts so many
But
other
so
people.
was Lane Kiffin.
And when we talk about Mike McDonald feeling like the livelihoods of and the weight of so many, right? That,
Yeah.
you know,
And
when
do
you're
I
in that
value Mike
position-
McDonald more than Damon Williams? Yes, which is why, I mean, I brought up the idea of Baltimore calling to say, hey, not as fact, but like if I were in Baltimore, I would call the Seahawks and say, hey, can I hire Mike McDonald? I would call Mike and say, are you interested? But I think very solidly Mike would say no. First of all, John would say no, but also Mike would say no because of everything he said the other day about Black Monday. Like, yeah, no, these guys all trusted me to come here to Seattle, and I'm not going to let them down by bailing on them and sneaking out the back door. I don't think there's a chance in hell that Mike McDonald would say yes to that. I'm just saying that if I were Baltimore, I'd got to make the call because you know he's the best possibility out there, or one of the best, and he used to be in your building, and you blew it by letting him go.
Yep.
So anyway, all right, we got to take a break. We're going to do a late version of Blue 88.
It's kind of an intense hour.
Well, and there's a lot more to come. We got Bryan Walters later. We got John Forslund to join us. It's a big day on Brock and Salk.
And so we are set.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle.
Seattle is going to win this football game. A single-season franchise record of 14 wins. The fourth #1 seed in franchise history.
Reaction.
Just incredibly proud of him.
Conversation.
Hopefully the next trip is going to be back down here for the Super Bowl.
Complete coverage at SeattleSports.com and the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. Are you tired of grilling in the cold and rain every winter? Well, with a patio cover, heater, and fireplace from PCF, you can enjoy your outdoor deck or patio all year long, staying warm and dry, even in the cold winter. Take advantage of off-season savings through February 15th, and you can get up to 10% off your entire project, plus 12 months with no payments and no interest. You see, most people don't consider building a deck in the winter, but if you want yours ready by next spring and summer, contact PCF right now to start planning. Spend the winter dreaming and designing your project so you're ready to build by spring. Planning and permits, they take a little time, so get started now. Get project ideas, browse the photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's my friends online at PCFgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with People Come First.
Want to make 2026 your year of adventure? Book that trip and learn a new language with Babbel. Go ahead, make a resolution you can stick to. Now is the time. Babbel's New Year sale is here. Unlock all of the languages on Babbel with the lifetime subscription for 65% off. Just go to Babbel.com and start today. Babbel teaches you relevant words and phrases, so you can start speaking with confidence in as little as 3 weeks. And because Babbel's bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are easy to remember, you'll be talking like a local in time for takeoff. Dive into the world of language learning content with Babbel's videos, podcasts, and stories from around the world, full of culture bites and language learning tips. Turn your daydream into a destination this year with Babbel. But don't wait. This offer ends January 15th. Get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
The college football playoff isn't over. Not yet. That epic run, that wild dream, not over till the clock hits 0. Till the stadium shakes. Till the wild things are let loose. till the trophy is lifted and the confetti falls. This is the national championship. When it's over, you'll feel it. This is the wild world of college football. The CFP National Championship, Monday, January 19th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
It's game time, and Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton are lining up with a roster that's built to dominate the field. The gas-powered RAV4, built to power through every drive, rain or shine. Or switch up the play with the hybrid RAV4, versatile, efficient, and always moving the chains. The Tacoma, tough, dependable, and clutch when it counts. And now, taking the field, the all-new 2026 Toyota Tundra, redesigned, powerful, and built for the big moments. Whether you're in the north or the south, Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton have your winning ride. Visit ToyotaofKirkland.com and ToyotaofRenton.com.
Olympic Hot Tub's New Year, New You event will help put you on a healthier path in 2026. Enjoy special savings on our entire wellness lineup of saltwater hot tubs, saunas, cold plunges, and swim spas. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
At Cressy Door, we not only have the perfect garage door for your home, but we also offer options for creating space and even warming your outdoor areas. Check out your options at CressyDoor.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, man, intense day, Brock. How did today get so intense?
Breaking news, Salt. Breaking news.
Yeah.
Breaking contracts. Breaking words.
Funny that it's breaking news about something I really don't care about, but it's managed to kind of get me all riled up this morning. I barely watched this kid play. I can't be too upset one way or another about what he's going to do next. And I could give you, I'm not even going to give you the grief today, too, like I normally do, of like, oh, I thought this was a premier program. And I'm not even going to go down that road because the whole thing is so silly and so ridiculous. And there's so many other fun conversations about it that I'm not going to go down that road.
Yeah,
all right.
thanks.
Bryan Walters, we're going to talk some Seahawks with him coming up at 8:30. Right now, though, a late version of Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88, powered by Xfinity.
We're going to go red, right, tight, close, sprint, left, G, U corner, halfback, flat, on one. Ready?
Brock Heward tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
Blue 88.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, 3 good football questions, usually 7:45, a little delayed with Joel Klatt going long today. Brock, question 1, Nick Eamon has been a big part of the success here in the whole evolution of the nickel, or the big nickel, as we might call it. How about on the other side? Who has been the biggest keys to Seattle's offensive evolution this year?
Yeah, I think it was something DJ said yesterday, and I kind of wrote the note down because we've not talked about it a ton. We did in the offseason. We did when they drafted Gray Zabel. We've talked about the movement and how Anthony Bradford's maybe one of the 5 that just doesn't quite move the way that the others do. But this was DJ yesterday, just talking about the 2 guys in the middle in particular and how unique they are athletically as well.
When they have Sundell out there next to Gray Zabel, that's as athletic of an interior combination as we have in the NFL. You know how good those guys are and their ability to work in space. Like, that is fun to watch those guys play together on a string.
Play together on a string. Just trust one another, trust each other's movements. Just like that defensive line, Salk, that's got to rush together. Those guys got to play together. And if the big nickel and Nicky Manwari and everything they're doing, playing that nickel versus big fronts and everything else, has kind of been an evolutionary tweak defensively, I think as a program, John Schneider's commitment to Gray Zabel with the 18th pick was a program-changing evolution. We've got to get that guy to play this position. Guards are valuable, Roger, in Tacoma. And in particular, guards and centers that can really move. That, are they ever going to be the athletes of their counterparts on the other side of the D-line? Is there ever going to be an offensive lineman that is Myles Garrett athletic? No. They're not going to run 4.4 and jump 40 inches. No, that's not going to happen. But can they run 4.9? Can they bend? Can they have, incredible lateral movement and short area change? Yes, they can. And Sundellen's able to. And Charles Cross does. And Abe Lucas is, for his size, is pretty darn elite too. And guess what happens when you put together a bunch of really capable athletic guys up front, Salk? You become functioning. You actually look like one of the better offensive lines, or at least within the same stratosphere compared to what the last decade or so has been, where that offensive line group has been just on the struggle bus.
All right, question number 2. Moore and I were talking this morning about the sack leaders for the Seahawks. You happen to know off the top of your head who led the team in sacks this year?
Boy, it was 7 going into the last game with Murphy and DeMarcus Lawrence and is it Leonard at 7?
It was actually Leonard, Murphy, and Chenna, all finished with 7.
Yeah.
And then D-Law, I think, was 6, so right behind them. Funny. Yep. I mean, just kind of really spread out.
No double digits, right?
No, everyone really spread it out over the course of the season. So that's sacks, but what about pressures? Where did they finish in total pressures? How important is that, or both of those two stats?
Second in the league. And who are the 2 number 1 seeds in the AFC and the NFC? And where do they fall in this? 1 and 2. Denver led the league with 411 pressures. Lyle, can you divide 411 by 17 quickly in your head? 411 by 17. 411 pressures, 68 sacks. That's over 4 sacks a game. I know that. I can do that in math and that number, Salk. I mean, it is off the charts for Denver. And
it's just over 24, by the way.
Is it over 24 pressures a game? So think how many pressures you get in a game, how many pass rush opportunities, and you get 24. The Seahawks were second at 392. 300.
I mean, that's pressure on like almost every drop back.
I mean,
it's crazy.
It's almost every other drop back for sure. 392 pressures, 47 sacks. Oh, by the way, is it relevant? Does that number really matter? Let's see, who's number 3? That would be the Rams at 372. People still argue maybe the best and most complete team in the league, right? And they're exactly the same sacks as Seattle at 47. And then who's next?
Houston.
How about Houston?
Yeah.
Yep, 368 with 47. All 3 of those teams, the exact same.
Let me guess,
47
Philadelphia's
sacks.
up there in the top 5 or 6 as well.
Yes, they are. They're 5th.
I mean, all the best defenses. That's really what you're talking about.
Yep. And you want to compare and contrast that? And I think this was Hawks Mania put this out yesterday at the near the bottom. How about Arizona? 244 pressures and just 30 sacks. In San Francisco, even worse than that. They just could not impact and affect the quarterback. And this team does. And whether it is sack numbers that are still top 5 or whether it's pressure numbers where it's number 2 only to the number 1 seed in the AFC, we saw with our own eyes this year. They decimated that line of scrimmage.
All right, question number 3. Jed Fish is now thrust into a very interesting situation. There's a lot of legal issues, but then there's also the coaching issue of what do you do if this kid actually does come back? How does Jed handle all this?
I think Jed, honestly, Salk, if you were to survey, I don't know, like the Klatts, the Herb Streets, the Blackledges, the guys, and say, who if this is going to be a little bit of a tipping point, if this is going to be one of those moments where the train wreck now is so large, right? And like, unfortunately, when emergencies happen and you watch people on the news desk and they've got to go live, right? And they've got to ad-lib and they got to handle this. Who do you want handling this? I think Jed just kind of has he's got a lawyerly, is that a word? A lawyerly way about him?
Sure.
Like if you want somebody that God bless and God rest Jim Lambright. I would not have wanted Jim Lambright to be in front of the microphone trying to navigate the language, the wording, the appropriate tenor.
That's not where I thought you were. I thought you were going to say something more along the lines of like, Jed's made some moves that are sketchy on his own. So
absolutely,
no one is better equipped to deal with this now than him.
He knows the political nature of this. He knows the bureaucratic nature of this. He knows the legal nature of this. He knows all. Like he does. Yeah. He knows. He's moved in his life. Like I've had a lot of conversations with him, some really good ones. And as far as somebody that's going to present this side of it in front of a microphone, I actually think Jed is way up there from a skill set of being able to maneuver.
All right, good stuff. That is today's Blue 88. I do find myself thinking with that whole train wreck thing. I thought Joel made a good point there, right? You want to try to do it before the train wreck, but it's so hard to do. And so often we hate the idea of rolling up our sleeves and fixing something because of the pain of that process if it's not yet fully broken. I was thinking, honestly, right here in Seattle, what is the biggest actual news in Seattle right now? It's that for the next year, I-5 is going to be a disaster as they completely resurface the Ship Canal Bridge. There's going to be 2 lanes closed on the Ship Canal Bridge going north for the next year. You realize that? It's crazy. Like, it's hard to fathom. As a person who takes that bridge literally every day, very, very hard for me to imagine what life is going to be like. And it's easy to be like complain about it, right? Like, how could they do this? And this is going to be terrible. And then you're like, well, they're actually doing what they're supposed to do, right? Fixing a bridge before it breaks. You don't end up with a situation like they had, what was it, in Minnesota a few years ago? It's probably like a decade or so ago now when the whole bridge, remember the bridge collapsed in Minnesota with people driving it? I mean, it was awful. Just a terrible, terrible tragedy that you don't want any part of. But, man, does the process of making sure that doesn't happen, it is painful. It is painful to think about.
Yeah, and there are NFL players in the 80s and 90s going, Salk, I was a part of that. I was a part of all of that pain to put together this structure and this salary cap and this yada, yada, yada. I don't know what's going to happen in Major League Baseball in a year from now, right, in the labor dispute and the amount of pain that, the players may have to undertake with that to ultimately get something that may be better down. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's the nature of the beast. But this unregulated monster right now,
it's not working. That's for sure. All right, Bryan Walters is going to talk Seahawks with us coming up in 20. Maybe he has more trust in the quarterback than Joel Klatt does. We'll get to everything you need to know next. It's Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
2025, what a ride.
And the Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
How many did we play? 15 innings?
15 innings.
The fans literally standing the whole game.
One of the most amazing games ever.
2026, you have some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. That's the thing.
A good indication of what happens next.
This feels like a beginning.
This is where you hear it happen. Happy New Year from Seattle Sports.
Hey, Brock Ewart here, and I have told you guys over the last 17 years a litany of some of the different injuries I've had. We watch our pro sports teams, and we see players that have to miss games and all the heavy trauma, the physical nature of the sport that they have to deal with. But I know that many of you that are listening to the show this morning, you woke up this morning with arthritis and painful joints, and it affects you. Makes it hard to do pretty much anything. Well, that is where my friend, Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine, where he and his team are ready for your call. 425-823-4000. 425-823-4000. He has seen so many patients over his decades in the business suffering from chronic pain that really does affect their quality of life. You got to consider this. He is the only doctor in the state of Washington with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques. Many have jumped aboard the regenerative medicine train lately. Not Dr. Nelson. He's been on that train and every other train over the last 3 decades. So whether it's stem cell therapy or PRP, he's got the tools to eradicate your pain. You just got to give him a call at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
The rainy season's here, Seattle, and your roof can't wait. Schedule your free estimate at 3treeroofing.com and get $500 off today. Costly repairs and Band-Aid fixes won't hold up and just drain your pockets. Our technicians replace roofs year-round, backed by the strongest warranties. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Hey everyone, Bum here for Seattle U men's basketball. Next up for the Redhawks, Gonzaga. This is going to be big. Grab your tickets for Seattle U versus Gonzaga January 17th at Climate Pledge Arena. Go to seattleu.com/tickets. Redhawks rising.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Here's a tale of Linda trying to lose weight, but the med prices she found were all over the place.
Hidden fees and markups made her jaw drop low. Then she found Good RX. Now she's in the know.
GLP-1 prescriptions FDA approved.
With clear upfront pricing.
And same-day pickup.
That's Good RX, the no-nonsense way. Save time and money on prescriptions.
Get to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
This is the home of the Seahawks. Gonna let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN Seattle Sports.
As a quarterback, you cannot run a winning play with a messy playbook. And most companies' data, well, it's a mess. AI is changing the game, but if your data is scattered, you're stuck on the sidelines. Brock Heward here, and this is where my friends at Marquee Data come in. They get your data in shape, clean, connected, ready to perform, so you can finally put AI to work for your business. Whether sales, finance, or operations, every smart move starts with the right data. So head to mydataqb.com to draw up your game-winning data play today. That's Marquee Data or mydataqb.com.
More than 4,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year in Washington state. I'm Dr. Suzette Miranda with Northwest Hope and Healing. We provide a lifeline to breast and gynecologic cancer patients, and you can help us make a difference. Join us for Cork, Fork, and Support, an afternoon of wine tasting and inspiration on January 31st at Mary Hill Winery in Woodinville's Wine Country. Get your tickets now for Cork, Fork, and Support. Go to nwhopeandhealing.org to learn more.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, it's always good to have a bye, not just because of the rest and recuperation and more chance to plan and the fact that you get to play all your games at home, but it also means that because you're a team that is really good, others are going to want to come for some of your assistant coaches, and this way they're get to handle their business during this week rather than during preparation weeks. And that sounds like it could be an issue, as specifically
Kubiak's wanted by all. Everybody wants a piece.
Yeah, I mean, Giants, Cardinals, Raiders, and Falcons, according to Albert Breer. That's 4 of the 7. Throw defensive coordinator Adam Dirty out there in Cleveland. And I even asked about Jay Harbaugh earlier, Brock, as their special teams guy. Like, yeah, there's going to be a lot of interest in the guys who play here. Daniel Jeremiah said Kubiak's pretty good candidate.
He seems to be the number one offensive candidate. Everyone feels like that's a stronger pool of defensive candidates for the head coaching cycle this year, but everyone you talk to has him as the top offensive guy. And the sheer number of openings we have, I find it hard to believe that he wouldn't snag one of those.
Copycat league. We know that. in the copycat league, all you got to do is look at the work of Mike McDonald, the Mike Vrabels, who've turned programs around, are playing elite defense, and I think defensive-centric coaches are going to lead this cycle. And Robert Saleh and Brian Flores and the work that those guys have done, and even having some past history. And we know maybe the second time around, they're better than they were the first time around the sun. I think defensive coaches will dominate the cycle. And then when you look at the offensive guys, I'm not hearing the names Mike Kafka and some of these names we've heard in the past. A little, I think there's a LaFleur brother out there. I think there's some of those guys, but I think defense will dominate it. And if there is an offensive guy, there's nobody hotter than Clint Kubiak right now. And this is not something to like, oh, this is bad. No, this is actually a good thing. That's what happens when you're a winning team doing things the right way. People want your personnel. And Mike McDonald made a pretty good hire with Clint Kubiak last year. And if he's got to do it again, I think he and John will have a pretty good sense about how to keep this train moving forward offensively.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Story of the day has been quarterback Damon Williams announcing yesterday that he is entering the transfer portal just days after signing a large contract to play here at UW next year. Posted it during the memorial for Mia Hammond, the soccer player who had passed away earlier this season, which is indefensible. Anyway, the school is expected to take legal action against him. LSU, Miami, both believed to be the front runners for his services. And I think Joel said it very well earlier that this is sort of that train wreck that maybe is the cause for things to finally change in college football.
Yeah, you just wonder if this would be kind of the tipping point and where the court of public opinion is going to be, where for so many, I think, years, there was always a defense like, well, these players are taken advantage of and the coaches all leave and yada, yada, yada. And I think this is one in the University of Washington, from what I understand, feels very strongly that they've got a very good legal case here. Like, this is just as black and white as it could possibly be, that there was language in that contract that he signed for not, by the way, small amount of money. I mean, millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars that would prohibit you from going into the portal, from reneging on your word and on your signature just 4 days later. Yeah. And this is going to become a pretty public fight.
Here's Joe Klatt earlier with us.
This is part and parcel to everything that's wrong right now in college football. How can we be in a situation where contracts don't matter with coaches, with players, anybody? And I feel really bad for Washington in this scenario. I think Damon Williams is getting bad advice. And I think that there is major tampering going on, rampant in the entire sport. This is not specific to this case, but certainly in this case. And I got to tell you, we desperately need a collectively bargained agreement. Desperately need it.
It's funny to think that there's tampering in college football. Like that hasn't always been a huge part of the college football landscape, but obviously has changed the way things are going right now.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
It's a great night for the Kraken, honestly, man. I was there last night. Phenomenal atmosphere. They have now won 8 of their last 9. They've got points in 9 straight games, Brock, and they dropped 7 goals on the Bruins, and it was just like a little bit of everybody. We got to see Berkeley Catton get his first as an NHL player.
And Asborough can't handle it. Here come the Kraken. Berkeley Catton lays it back for McCann. Catton shot. He scores! Berkeley Catton has his first goal in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Shane Wright went right over, grabbed the puck, brought it over to him. All his teammates were going crazy for him. He scored another one later as well, so 2 for him, 2 for Capo Caco.
I asked you last hour about the volatility of this organization over the last few years, and even in this season where they lost 9 in a row, and now they've been on the winning side of 9 in a row, and how common, uncommon. How about this one? How about another kind of big picture question? Is it as imperative in the NHL that your young draft picks, your high capital draft picks, turn out to be difference makers as it is in the NFL and Major League Baseball?
Maybe more so. Maybe even more so.
Huh.
Yeah.
Because?
Well, as you see,
the contracts.
And those guys don't move that often. Once you've got a dude, they don't go anywhere. I mean, rarely. Occasionally, you'll see them change teams, right? I mean, Zegras changed teams this past season. We'll see whether or not he's one of those guys or not. It happens. But it's pretty rare. I mean, for the most part,
the
if you got a
Beniers,
dude like
the Wrights,
you don't let him go.
The Berkeley Cattons, the emergence of top 10
Yeah,
picks. And
you
those
need
guys
what's the kid last year, Jake O'Brien, that they drafted. Like those guys are all top 10 picks.
Yeah,
you need them to turn into real dudes. And because as much as I love a guy like Jacob Melanson, and I do, he's a blast. Like he has changed the team. You can't last. I mean, like he's running around, he's going to kill himself. Like he's he can't play like that every day.
Kill himself, Salk. He's just.
Oh, he's going to hurt himself.
He's going to hurt himself.
Well, that's all right. You know what I mean. He's going to hurt himself. Like, he's running around making contact at every different opportunity. He's going to hurt himself out there. So,
dude, you haven't sent me the picture. That's everything you need to know.
Yeah,
I'd like
I'm not
to see
sending
the
you the
picture.
picture. No,
yes, you are.
I'm not doing anything.
Why does
No.
it have your weight on it too?
You know, I'm not doing anything. I'm not talking to you about any of this today. I'm done with you. I'm done with you.
Stuff?
Yeah.
So that's the good stuff. The personal stuff.
No, not with you and me. No,
Sure it
you
is.
dig into things in a way that drives me crazy. So I'm not going to give you the opportunity. I'm already being driven crazy by my Bosch dishwasher. The last thing I need is you.
Was your blood work okay though?
No.
I mean, this is your big annual.
Not
physical.
really, no.
No?
Would it surprise you that after yesterday's show and how upset I was about my dishwasher and technology and everything else, that they were worried about hypertension, that maybe my blood pressure was a little too high? Yeah, not a surprise. Not a huge surprise. After all of that, I'm rushing to get over to the stupid doctor's appointment, and some idiot is blocking the entire lane of traffic up here.
I would
I'm
have thought all
honking at
that
him.
cursing you did at the computer yesterday would have alleviated some of that.
It turns out it did not. No,
What was your
there
blood pressure?
It was higher than it should be. Yeah, it was higher than I she did it once. I was like, ooh, let's do that again. Make sure there's not a problem. Let's see if we can do a double check on the old blood pressure there. So, yeah. All right. Anyway, Bryan Walters is going to join us next. Fantastic athlete, still in great shape. He's talking about the Seahawks every week, of course.
Pre and post
with the
show,
pre and
right?
post game show. He does a great job. I love B. Walt. He's we haven't talked to him forever. That's on us. He will join us next on Brock and Salk.
And so we are set.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle.
Seattle is going to win this football game. A single-season franchise record of 14 wins. The fourth #1 seed in franchise history.
Reaction.
Just incredibly proud of him.
Conversation.
Hopefully the next trip is going to be back down here for the Super Bowl.
Complete coverage at SeattleSports.com and the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Now, jokes aside, I do always feel a lot better going to the doctor these days because I lost a whole lot of weight, and that was all thanks to Dr. Ryan Coogan and Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. I'm telling you right now, here, New Year's, everybody making resolutions. People are going to drop 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, and they'll do it just in the next couple of weeks and months. 15 minutes, that's how you get this started. Just take that time, do something for yourself today by scheduling a phone call to just learn a little bit more about this program. I did it. I lost 10 pounds in the first week, 35 pounds after 8 weeks. Didn't have to fight for space in a crowded gym with all the other New Year's resolution folks. No pills or injections or anything like that. No bland, fake boxed meals or anything. All real food that you buy at the grocery store. Yep, great recipes, a group to offer support, coaching, and accountability, and an easy-to-follow plan that really does work. Do it for yourself this year. Schedule that 15-minute phone call. Call 425-588-0080 or go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Hey, Hawk fans, Jake Bobo. Stormy weather is here. How's your roof holding up? Give Techline Roofing a call. With the strongest warranty in the business, Techline has you covered. That's Tekline, roofing.com. Trust Techline.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we don't just promise to get the job done, we back it up. No travel charge, no show-up fee, no overinflated pricing, and no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional each and every day. O'Neill Plumbing.
The home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports. Touchdown! Seahawks! Ken Walker III! Get everything Seahawks at seattlesports.com.
What does VA mean to me?
A place for my daughter to call home. Thanks to the VA Home Loan.
A new lease on life. The best healthcare team I've ever had is here at VA.
And education, and the opportunity to open doors I never thought possible with my GI Bill.
The financial support I need to manage the disabilities I developed because of my service.
Get what you earn. Visit choose.va.gov.
Not all veterans are eligible for the type or amount of benefits mentioned here.
IRG Physical and Hand Therapy doesn't just treat injuries, they elevate athletes. From weekend warriors to elite competitors, IRG Sports Institute clinics are built for performance, blending top-tier physical therapy with advanced sports science and personalized training plans. Hey, Brock Hewitt here with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and owner of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Why? Why elevate athletes as well?
Because here at IRG, Brock, our motto is we want you to be your best self, your best physical self, your best mental self, and your best community self. At our new IRG Fremont Sports Institute, we're providing that type of care. We've got the latest equipment, the greatest techniques, the providers there that are excited to get you better, basically bigger, faster, stronger. Doesn't matter if you're a weekend warrior, a recreational athlete, an elite athlete, we will make you to be your best.
You'll work with specialists who understand the grind because they've been there. With access to cutting-edge equipment and recovery techniques, you won't just heal, you'll come back stronger. Visit irgpt.com, irgpt.com.
Sewing Machine Service reminds parents to enroll your kids in a positive youth program. Sports, hobbies, and community activities improve overall health and performance in school. These programs decrease drug use and violence and develop self-discipline and leadership skills. Let's team together this year to help our kids reach their full potential. A message from the entire team at Sewing Machine Service, the family-owned sewing experts proudly serving the greater Northwest since 1942, wishing all our kids a safe and successful future.
This hour is brought to you by Trajan Wealth Management.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, we've been kind of jumping all over the place today. You got this big breaking news that came out last night with Damon Williams, so we've been talking through that. If you missed the interview with Joel Klatt, I think you'll want to go watch that. It'll be up on YouTube and all the socials and, of course, the podcast later. But, you know, preeminent voice in college football is Fox's lead announcer or lead analyst. So, yeah, I think you'll want to hear what Joel had to say. It was a pretty good conversation and debate about the state of college football and where all of this goes and, quite frankly, the state of our country and society in general. So if you got some time, maybe go check that out. John Forslund will talk some Kraken hockey with us coming up in an hour.
Hey, what do you say?
Kraken hockey, baby. In the meantime, Seahawks talk, Brock, because that's really, the story throughout the whole city right now. And Bryan Walters does the pre- and post-game show here on Seattle Sports and for the Seahawks Radio Network. Friend of the show. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Good to be back on with you. Been a little bit.
Well, and we were saying that, and that's on us, and we apologize. I don't know what happened. We just haven't had you on for a while, and that's a
well, let's be clear. You get a little insecure because Brian's younger, he's sprunger, he hits a golf ball 350 yards, or he's good looking. He's got kind of a lot of things that we don't have.
I know, but I really like Brian both personally and professionally, and I feel bad that we haven't had him on more, even though you're right. I'm very jealous. I mean, there's no doubt. There's a lot of jealousy.
If you guys keep talking, I'll be on every day with you guys. I mean, this is great. This is a good ego boost for every single morning. I need this. This is fantastic.
We got to make up for the fact that we haven't had you on for a while. So let's sort of take a big picture view of this thing, and then we'll dig into some more specifics. But give me sort of a big picture, most pleasant surprises, things that jumped out to you over the course of the year that maybe you weren't expecting.
Well, I think I have to go to the defense. I mean, I have to go because I thought last game was so interesting because I thought both teams, 49ers and Seahawks, have kind of weathered the storm, right? They've weathered these injuries that they've had. And 49ers probably less so, have had more serious injuries than the Seahawks. But, you know how the Seahawks have been all season long, right? You feel like guys are just, what was that, middle of the year, you had 3 or 4 starters out in the defense, and it was just kind of like, okay, how are they going to do this? But I think the most pleasant surprise is the guys that have stepped up in those situations, that with the guys that just kind of hit the ground running, and you haven't seen any sort of kind of downfall on the defense. And you look at guys like Drake Thomas, and Drake Thomas probably is a bad example of this because he wasn't necessarily filling in for injury. He earned that spot, come training camp, and has kind of been there all season long, but not a guy I expected to be in there playing day to day at such a high level. Ty Okada has done a great job filling in for when Julian Love's down. Now Kobe Bryant's down, and he's just kind of filled in and done his part. And so I think, I know there was issues at the corner position. Witherspoon was out, so you had a lot of guys filling in there. And to me, that's just such a huge thing to have, that depth, that 70-man roster that they always talk about, to be able to have guys ready to play and to know that they can fill in without the team kind of falling apart, because that's such an easy thing to do, is when you have 2 or 3 starters out, man, it's so easy for a team to just take a downward spiral, and you've seen it in teams. And actually the 49ers are kind of an example of that right now defensively. The last they've been struggling a little bit with their all-pro Fred Warner out and all that stuff. So that's kind of one of the biggest surprises to me, is how the Seahawks have managed that, the injuries, and how guys have been ready to step up.
So if those are the pleasant surprises, then I'll ask you the same question we asked Daniel Jeremiah yesterday. How has this team surpassed your team for the greatest point differential in the history of the franchise, and like your team in 2013, become the number 1 seed? What are 2 or 3 reasons from your estimation why they find themselves in this pole position?
Well, yeah, that's a good question. Now you're making me have to go back to our teams back in 2013 and 14. Remember all those. I think the offense, I think, is just more. We know the whole first half of the season, first maybe longer, 2/3 of the season, this offense was so explosive, right? I felt like any deep ball that Sam Darnold threw was caught by JSN. Yeah, just automatic. I mean, you're just like, why don't you just do that every single play? It looks way too easy. And I feel like the explosiveness of an offense to this defense is, and later on, I'd say the defense's ability to create turnovers. It took a while, even before the first forced fumble. I mean, I don't know if you remember that. They didn't have a forced fumble before the bye week. It was none, 0 on defense, no forced fumbles. They had some interceptions, which is great, but the ball wasn't put on the ground until, I believe, Brandon Peely on a kickoff coverage forced his first fumble, and then you had kind of how it is, turnovers come in bunches, right? And then you had kind of a barrage of all the defense making plays like that and forced fumbles. So I think everything coming together with the offense being explosive, the defense being able to force turnovers, and I mean, that's as simple as it gets, I guess, because it's been so fun. I mean, it really has. Just watch this team win in so many different ways. I don't know if we had that. If we're comparing back to 2013. I don't know if we had that ability to win in multiple ways back in 2013, because this team has come from behind. This team has blown a team out from the beginning. This team has I mean, there's so many different ways that one last-second field goals, missed, everything. They've won so many different special teams, defense, offense has picked them up. Special teams scored 4 touchdowns. I don't think we had that in 2023. I think we really had one formula to win. It was that your defense better play well, and kind of the offense doesn't screw it up and run the ball. I feel like that's what it was. And this team has just kind of shown the ability to win in multiple ways. Whatever you need, it's like that unit's going to step up.
We're talking to Bryan Walters. They don't feel that similar to me, these two teams. The team you were talking about that you were on in 2013, not 23. We'll give you the slip of the tongue. I know you're just sort of hoping you were 10 years younger than you actually are right now. Yeah, that's fine. 13, 23. 2
years ago.
That's all right. If Clayton was here, he'd call 223, 213. In any event, the two teams don't seem that similar to me. And I know everyone wants to make a comparison because those were the last truly great Seahawks teams in 13 and 14, but it does feel like this team has such a different vibe, different energy. They're both built off their defense, there's no doubt, but after that, I just don't see a lot of crossover similarity between the two teams. Do you?
No, I don't think so either. And kind of the reasons I just mentioned as far as how to win games, there's multiple ways for this team to win games. Back in, I'm going to say it right, 2013. There we go. Got it. Made the adjustment. Thank you for that. It wasn't that. It wasn't that at all. But I also think the personalities are a lot different. The personalities on this team versus 2013. 2013.
Really? You sure? You don't think Sam and Russ are alike? The kumbaya in the receiver room, Cooper Kupp and JSN weren't like Golden Tate and Percy? You sure?
I mean, here's what it was in 2013. It was like if we got to the game, we were good. Like if we were able to get everyone to the game, I mean, we knew we were going to absolutely dominate that game, but that was the hard part, was getting to the game. But I feel like this team is not that. This team is like, not that they're tighter than we, because we were tight, those are still some of my best buddies. But it's so different, man. Like the way that Pete Carroll, kind of that culture that we had back then with everyone on the team to now to where Mike Macdonald has his team. It's just, I don't know. It's such a tough question to compare that, but I just have to say the personalities of the guys are different, and just the way that the teams are winning. The way team can win these games in multiple ways is a lot different than back in 2013.
So you mentioned the Ty Okadas and the Drakes and the guys that we've talked about this year, and I'm right there with you, Bryan. It's been phenomenal to watch those guys emerge. Did you, in your heart of hearts, as a former receiver and a guy that, ran routes and operated the way JSN, has to and has been able to operate with just precision and detail and explosion, did you ever imagine that he would lead the league in receiving yards in 2025? Was there a script you could write preseason that I would have handed you and said, hey, this is going to happen, and you would have believed it?
It's funny. We actually had this discussion a couple days ago with Doug and Jermaine. No, that I wouldn't have put that on there. I wouldn't have put that up there. There's now, would I have said JSN would have had a tremendous season and really emerge as that number one receiver? Absolutely. I think that's what everyone kind of thought would happen going in, especially seeing last year, how he did when DK Metcalf was not in the game. I think he put up 180 yards, that the small sample size of that. And two, what we saw this offseason and into training camp with JSN. I mean, you would go to practice and you would see him making big play after big play after big play. And you just kind of knew it's like, hey, it's this guy's time. I mean, this is a first-round draft pick. They saw a lot in him, maybe slightly overshadowed by DK when DK was here. It's his time. Like, he's got it all. And again, last year you saw it. You saw the ability to do multiple things as a wide receiver. Right? There's receivers that are, big bodies that maybe you just kind of outmuscle your defender. There's receivers that can run good routes and route up receivers. There's receivers that are good without press coverage. There's receivers that are good against press coverage. And there's all, receivers with good hand. I can go on forever, right? The list of how you get categorized as a receiver. JSN, well, besides the big body part of the receiver, checks every single box on that. I mean, you can't pressing JSN. He invites it. You know, when he runs his routes, I mean, I go back to Jacksonville. I just remember how he set up this post corner route early in the game. And I mean, when you really look at it and break it down, they were thinking about that post corner route he ran against them, and then he hits the play on the big post route. You know, like it's like the way he sets up his routes and makes them all look exactly the same is fantastic. I think he has one of the lowest drop rates in the league, if not the lowest. I think he's dropped really off the top of my head. I can think of one big drop he had, and it was right over the middle. I forgot who it was against, but it was just over the middle, big route. Indianapolis, right there. That's it. I mean, I think that's incredible when a guy gets so many targets that you can really only picture one drop that he's had. And if you can picture more, you know, I'm open to it. I want to know. But that's all. I was like, wow, is that like one of his first like blatant drops of this whole season? I mean, that's impressive. So he's been trustworthy. He can break down a zone. He can win man-to-man. He can take the top off of a defense, as people doubted time in and time out. Said he can't do that. Well, he does with his body control, the way he can kind of judge a deep ball, I guess. You know, I look at it like a punt, right? When you can get under a punt and read where that ball's going to land, it makes it a lot easier to catch a punt. Well, that's what JSN does with these deep balls. You know, Sam Darnold throws it up. He can read it. He sees the trajectory, where it's going to land. You can set your body up, position yourself to be in perfect position to make that catch. So, and that's a skill in its own that I don't think a ton of receivers have.
So if I could imagine a meeting of the minds with Bryan and, as you mentioned, Jermaine Kearse and Doug Baldwin. Maybe he was on a golf course. Maybe Salk would be the fourth.
That'd be an interesting one. Yeah,
in that group right there.
By the way, Doug called it on JSN, as you know. Doug's the one who said, "Well, of course, yeah, I knew he was going to do this."
if it was a golf event with the four of you guys, and Salk got to listen to them all talk about JSN, and then maybe transition to Sam Darnold, what would be the conversations on that golf course about those two?
Well, are we transitioning to Sam Darnold right now? Is that?
Yeah. Well, first maybe pay off.
I'm going to guess
Jermaine
at least one of those guys would have been really happy to have had Sam Darnold in 2013.
Here's 100%. But here's where this conversation would go, and I know it would go. It would go for, hey, JSN, how's it feel to get all those targets? How's it feel to get the ball thrown to you that much? That would be the majority of it, and all in a joking way, because you know that's the receiver's dream. You want to get the ball thrown to you. We didn't have that. I mean, it's me especially, but like Doug, like you look at the numbers that they put up with, you know, being not even top 50 in the league in targets. I mean, it's pretty impressive back in the day. So that would be the conversation. Hey man, like how's it feel to get the ball like thrown to you every series and you know, that would be the conversation
all
there.
right.
Now,
so let's get to the real question. What's the trust factor? What's the trust level for Sam Darnold heading into the playoffs?
My trust level is extremely high. Extremely high. It really is. And I don't like to look, Sam Darnold has played in so many big games in the last 2 years. If you think about it, you don't go 14-3 2 years in a row without playing in big games. You know, like last season, you look at the Vikings, and they finished the season with 3 conference games and 1 against the Seahawks. That was their last 4 games. Those are all really big games. And, you know, maybe he gets a bad rap for not having a good game in one of those, which I don't even think he threw an interception. But I think, you know, his offensive line was bad last year. So, one, I look at that and I go, he's played in tons of big games. Look, this year he's played in big games. The Rams game was a big game. Yeah, maybe it was a struggle to start, but man, the way he finished is incredible. To me, that shows more than anything. The fact that you can just, you know, throw an interception and get back out there on the field and just keep slinging it like you have been. I think that is impressive in its own. 2, you don't see, no one ever on his own team or in the building doubts Sam Darnold. No one's ever coming out saying anything like, this could have been better. And I feel like you can't hide that if that's the truth. If people don't trust your quarterback, somehow that slips out, and it hasn't. And there's where I go, well, you know, these guys have all the trust in the world. Like, so do I. Like, they work with him. They're in the facility every single day. They know what kind of work he puts in. They know the plays he's made, because you can't deny that either. All season long, he has made some of the best throws that I have seen. I mean, his rolling out to the left, threading the needle to JSN, some of those deep passes. Like, he can make every single throw. And actually, Brock, I don't know if you noticed this, but something I saw in the broadcast last week against the 49ers, Sam Darnold threw a simple flat route, or flat, little out, whatever it was, like a 4 or 5 yard pass to the sideline, to the left side. And he hit him right on the chest. I want to say it was a Rashid. I don't remember exactly. It doesn't matter. But hit him right on the chest. Boom, 4 yard gain. So Troy Aikman says, "Ooh, that's a dangerous pass. If he leaves that inside, that's another interception. That's an interception that Sam Darnold just taking that risk." And I'm thinking to myself, that was actually a perfect pass. And if Josh Allen said this, I bet Troy Aikman saying, "Wow, look at the arm talent, putting that right where it needs to be, perfect pass, right on the numbers." Like, that's why he's so good. There is this stigma about Sam Darnold that no matter what he does, I don't know if he can get away from it. And I don't know where it comes from, because you compare all the stats with Sam Darnold, everything. I compared Sam Darnold's stats to Mahomes when he won back-to-back Super Bowls. Those two years he won back-to-back in 2022, 2023. Sam Darnold has better stats. He has a better passer rating than Patrick Mahomes did when he won MVP and back-to-back Super Bowls. Like, Sam Darnold's better stats. So if stuff like that doesn't tell you that he is a fantastic quarterback and the right guy for this job, and especially for this offense, then I don't know what does, because Patrick Mahomes is considered one of the best ever, right, to do it. He's one of the best winners.
I think, Brian, I'll speak for Salky here. I won't. He won't have to do this, but I'll speak on his behalf here. I think it's like a golfer that stripes 7 drives, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this guy is so good," and you want to just totally buy. And then there is just the shank. There's just the triple, bogey. There's just the 14 interceptions and the 6 fumbles and leading the league in giveaways. Unfortunately, that's just in the bag. And as many drives as he can stripe and as many birdies as he can make, and he can make them with anybody. Like, in his ceiling, you're right. Like, his upside is Josh Allen, Mahomes. Like, his upside plays, his highlight reel. If he was a high school quarterback making a highlight reel for Huddle, to show to recruiters, they'd be like, "Goodness gracious, that's a laser. That's a laser. That's a play. That's a scramble. That's a," the ceiling would be great. It's just the floor. It's just some of the ball in harm's way more often than maybe some of those elite guys have.
He has thrown the exact amount of interceptions as Patrick Mahomes did in 2022 and 2023. Exact same. He had 12 interceptions in last year with the Vikings and 14 this year. Patrick Mahomes had 12 in 2022 and 14 in 2023. So, every quarterback's going to put the ball in harm's way. And I'll use that golf analogy for you here. If we're going to take a single round, I get that. But let's take multiple rounds. How do you get a handicap in golf, right? You have 20 rounds or something, and they take your 10 best or something like that. This is kind of the case for Sam Darnold, because he's had, if you take unfortunately, I have to say it. I hate saying this, but I have to say it. You take the Rams games away from it, the 4 interceptions and the 2 interceptions, that's 6 interceptions against one team. Those in a golf handicap would be out. They wouldn't even be in the mix.
Brian, that's like saying, well, if you take the majors out, this guy's great. It's too bad he's never won a major. You have to include those things. That's the question. That's what's left to be determined. And it doesn't mean he's not going to get over the hump. Matt Stafford had these questions until he didn't anymore. And that's not...
Rory McIlroy had these questions until he won the Masters.
That's not uncommon to have those questions until you get over the hump and actually prove it.
Those guys have had the opportunity multiple times, right? Mm-hmm. Rory's been years and years and years and years trying to win this Masters. Sam Darnold's had one opportunity to be with a good team last season. They won 14 games.
Right.
And it was one game in the playoffs.
No, it's well said.
The sample size is so small. And you're taking a guy like Rory and all these guys who it's it's been 15 years or 20, whatever it was.
No, I think you're right. The hope there is that last year was the learning experience, and that this year is now I figured it out, and when I get into the big game, I know what to do. And again, if he plays the way he did against the Niners, I think they probably win the Super Bowl if he doesn't turn the ball over and he makes a couple of those key passes. The one he made to Cooper Kupp on that 8-minute drive is just unbelievable. I mean, like, if he does those things, they're probably going to at least go to the Super Bowl, if not win it, because with the defense that we've already talked about, I don't know who's going to slow them down if he keeps control of the ball. On the other hand, if the ball he threw late in that game that was nearly picked off was picked off, and the ball that he put on the ground after tripping on the center ends up getting recovered by the other team, then it's a different game. Then it's a different. I'm just saying, like, it'll be different.
I know. But let's not fault Sam Darnold for the trip.
I'm not faulting him. I'm just saying that, like, he's fumbled the ball 11 times this year.
Can we end this game? Yeah. Can we end this conversation with just pure numbers, please? Can we just end it with pure numbers?
We have to, yes. What number?
Jackson Smith and Jigba in 2025's record-setting season had 163 targets.
Yes.
163.
How many did B. Walt have?
The leader in the clubhouse in 2013 with all of those pedestrian receivers was Golden Tate's 98. Wow. Not even 100 targets for Golden
How many
Tate
did Bryan have?
2013. I couldn't go down.
You can't get down that far.
I didn't have enough time to scroll.
I'm pretty sure it's 0.
You had no targets?
The next year was 13.
Oh, my gosh.
I was yelling at Jermaine and Doug about this yesterday. I said, hey, because we were reliving our NFC championship comeback, and I was like, what was awful about playing with you guys is you guys didn't come off the field. Like, they were on the field for 95% of all the snaps. 95%. Because I'd be like on the sideline, hey, Doug, you need a break? Come on, man. Like, and he'd be like, wake me up. Nope, I'm going in. And I'm like, God. And so, you just sit there with a jacket on. Like, the warm jacket late in the season. You go, all right, well, coach, I don't know what to tell you. And so if they don't want to come out, they were good players, let them play. But, it kind of limits the target on my end. How about that?
It sounds like Brock's conversations with Peyton. Peyton, you feeling okay? You ready to come off the field? No? All right. I'll just hang out over here and maybe throw with somebody on the sidelines. Hey, we appreciate it, man. Sorry it's been so long. That's on us. We apologize. We won't make it so long again. And once the weather gets better, let's get out there and hit the ball around.
Let's do it. Anytime, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, there you go. There is Bryan Walters. Great. He has been such a great, seriously, jokes aside, great addition to the Seahawks media world. I mean, just love his insight, takes, stories. Don't always agree with everything, but I just love the way he approaches it.
A lot of joy, man. He loves ball and loves talking about it.
I think that's a really good way of saying it, Brock. All right. Gosh, I got like a million things to do and not enough time to do it. John Forslund's going to join us in a little over a half hour, so we'll talk some Kraken with him before Trash Takes at 9:45. I don't want to talk anymore about Jamal Williams. I'm done. Just go back, and we've already said it, so go back and watch the Joel Klatt stuff or the opening to the show at 7 o'clock. We're going to talk some more Seahawks next on Brock and Salk.
2025. What a ride.
The Seahawks win 38-37. It's Sauber with the 2-point conversion catch. Holy cow.
So glad we can get done at home in front of the 12s.
2026, you have some big shoes to fill, and we can't wait.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Lumen Field in Seattle.
This is where you hear it happen.
We've won so many different ways all year.
Happy New Year from Seattle Sports.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit MuckleshootCasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try it for free. And you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Right
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like rugs. And people say a rug would really bring the room together. And sure, you don't know what that means, but it sounds important. Suddenly you're using words like jute and sisal. Then you see the price and lose it because how can the thing you walk and spill on cost so much? So you devote your life to taking down Big Rug. But then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds. So looks like Big Rug is safe. For now. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Hey, Brock Heward here with Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, inviting you to come work with IRG. And Shannon, what kind of staff are you looking for at IRG?
Brock, we're looking for all kinds of clinical staff, physical therapists, occupational therapists, athletic trainers, certified occupational therapy technicians, physical therapy assistants, you name it on the clinical side. We are looking for those folks. But we are really looking for folks that want to come to an organization that want to be part of our culture and change the culture and work with us to provide the best care and service we can to our patients, our team, and our community. So those clinical people out there, we're looking for you. We also provide advanced certification. We want to provide you mentorship. We want you to grow personally and professionally here at IRG.
And with over 40 clinics throughout the Pacific Northwest, you've got the opportunity to work in the city you want. Just head over to irgpt.com/careers. That's irgpt.com/careers.
Hey, Hawk fans, Jake Bobo. Stormy weather is here. How's your roof holding up? Give Techline Roofing a call. With the strongest warranty in the business, Techline has you covered. That's TEKLINE. Roofing.com. Trust Techline.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we don't just promise to get the job done, we back it up. No travel charge, no show-up fee, no overinflated pricing, and no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional each and every day. O'Neill Plumbing.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
Give me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, an hour to go here in the Brock and Salk show. An opportunity to talk some hockey because the Kraken are on a heater, Brock. So we'll do that with John Forslund, who's up in 30 minutes. Even if you're not a huge hockey fan, you should listen to Forslund because he's awesome. He has been, through the history of the franchise, the best thing about the franchise, doing games every day. He's tremendous and just a fun guy to talk to, and he'll give you some real honest insight. So looking forward to doing that at 9:30.
And he's a Seattle sports fan now that he's here. I know he's not a Seattle sports fan.
One.
Yes. Yeah. How could you not? With the Mariners doing what they did this season, with the Seahawks doing what they've done this season, rising tide lifts all boats. Salk, even the Kraken from the depths that they were in at one point, is lifted the Kraken off of the ground. And so, yeah, he's just a blast to talk to.
So we'll do that coming up at 9:30. Trash takes after that. The Sam conversation's been really interesting this week, and just hearing, how polarizing it is. And I think, honestly, I thought that both Joel and Bryan Walters made really good points that were very compelling regarding Sam Darnold. Like, it's real easy
and
to
then DJ's right in the middle. Like, on one side of
Yeah.
it, you've got Joel, who's just like, I'm sorry, my eyes just don't trust him. I just can't get away from some of the stumbles and the bumbles and the shanks and the hooks, and he loves them, and he should love them, because Sam plays the game the way that Joel preaches all the time. If you listen to Joel's broadcasts, on time, on target, accuracy, connect your feet and eyes, all these things that Joel had to do as a player. Right, because he wasn't the biggest and the strongest arm. So
when I asked him, do you trust him? Do you trust Sam Darnold?
No, I'm sorry. That's why I can't.
Right, like he wasn't close. I said, all right, well, what would it take?
I think they're going to have to win the Super Bowl, because at some point, because we've seen him in his career look great for an extended period. And then all of a sudden, it's like, well, there's the 3 turnover game.
Is that true for everyone
now,
then? I went on from there, but you get the idea. That was sort of the...
So that's one side of it.
Right.
That's one playing partner in your foursome.
Yep.
The other side was Bryan Walters right there, who's quoting Patrick Mahomes stats and saying, listen, I mean, the body of work over these last 2 years when he's been in good organizations, the only guy that's won as many games is Tom Brady. 14 wins and 14 wins. There's one guy in the history of this league in back-to-back years that has won 14 games or more. And that would be Tom Brady and, of course, Sam Darnold. And the interceptions, the same as Mahomes in his last 2 years as he's won Super Bowl. So there's one end of it, there's the other, and then right in the middle is DJ.
Well, and then you could probably, Brug, you don't have to just go to our guest, because we got plenty of sound in here as well. I mean, it's like one person after another going in completely different directions. Here's your friend and mine, Bruce Arians.
I think right now Sam's figured it out. He doesn't have to put a Superman cape on. They got that running game rolling. Showed up big last week against San Francisco. Just may be the facilitator, get the ball out to the right guys, make some big plays with his legs. And, he and JSN, man, that's a dangerous combination. But when they got that running game going with the defense they're playing right now, and then the 12 up there in Seattle, watch out. It's going to be tough.
So there's Bruce and Bruce, one of my...
Wow, I didn't think you would go there.
One of my favorites.
All the sound you pulled.
Well, I've got a lot here. I got that from Bruce Arians. I also have Isaiah Stanback yesterday with Bump and Stacy.
I really think Sam Darnold's been inconsistent. There's one weak spot going into the playoffs that I'm just kind of giving me the bubble guts. It's Sam Darnold's play. You really, you kind of get the bubblies. You want to take the pink drink, every game, because you just don't know what you're going to get out of him. Some games he shows up and he looks like Sam Darnold of last year, and then other games he shows up and it just looks like he's seeing ghosts. He's running scared and, has happy feet in the backfield. And he's not able to follow through on his passes, and he's inaccurate. So I just don't know. That's the only aspect of this team going to the playoff run that makes me uncertain.
The only thing I would say to that, and I know B. Walt and many in the Seahawk radio would say, is hold on a second. It's not every other game, right? I mean,
it's not.
It really is not.
No.
You don't get to 14 wins. You don't have a pass efficiency of nearly 100. You don't, break these records. You don't do these things unless it is a lot more consistent than that. And he has been. It's just that at the first half of the year, he played at a level that was MVP. I mean, he played at a level that no one has ever played at as far as QBR goes, with multiple 90-plus QBR game after game after game, and the explosive plays and all of those things. And so, the level got lifted, and then there's some bumps, but then there's a bunch of other games that are just like, yeah, man, that was clean. Atlanta was clean. It was kind of the run game, everything didn't get going the first half, but my gosh, that second half was back to that form there in many of those games. And overall, as Brian said, take away the 6 picks versus the Rams, Salk.
Yeah.
And the QB rating is top 5 in the league, not top 3. So, and even in those games, you could say, well, you can't eliminate those. No, you can't. They're on your resume. You sign the checks.
Right.
But in those games, you were a 61-yard kick away from sweeping both of them.
It's funny. The way I think one of the challenges with Sam, and I'm going to make a really broad generalization here, is that he's really been great against not very good defenses. He's been great against them. He's done everything you're supposed to do against defenses that are just subpar.
Sam, I am. He has.
There's no doubt, right? I mean, like, and I'm not saying that as a shot. He's just been great against them. He's done exactly what you should and more against the mediocre defenses, and I'd put San Francisco in that category. The questions, I think, are much more about what do you do against the elite defenses, and the Rams are one of those teams. You faced them twice this year, and he was not the same quarterback really in either of those games. The other one to look at, though, and
Vikings,
I think
probably.
The Vikings
were up there. Second half of the year, played as good a defense as anybody in the league did.
And then obviously Houston, where he was good but not quite great, I think. I'm just looking at like the QBR. Do you like quarterback rating or QBR? Which one do you want me to look at? I'll go to either one.
I think both paint a good picture.
All right, so
I'm
going to try to do this as quickly as possible, and I know there's going to be a lot of numbers, but you just start looking through the year and looking at his game log, and it's like, okay, San Francisco, 87 and 52. Fine, that's your baseline. Pittsburgh, probably pretty similar type of defense, right? 89, QBR dropped to 48 a little bit. Next week against New Orleans, unbelievable, 154-98. Arizona, unbelievable, 111-76. Tampa Bay, unbelievable, 135 in 96. Jacksonville, unbelievable against a decent defense.
That's good defense,
right? 121 and 78. That's definitely going to be on Sam's positive ledger.
Yes.
Houston, 73 and 41. Going to drop quite a bit, right? And that's understandable. They're a really good defense. Washington, terrible defense, 141 and 97. Arizona, terrible defense, 111 and 78. Rams, 45 and 20.
Yep.
29. So let me get the glass out so make sure I get these numbers right.
Yep,
29.
that was a clunker, man.
Right?
That
Tennessee,
clunker.
bad defense, 118 and 40. Minnesota, good defense, 67 and 23. Atlanta, 111 and 66, terrible defense. Indy, 84 and 40, kind of in between, right? He just seems to rise and fall.
And I think if you did that with most of these playoff quarterbacks, go look at Trevor Lawrence's day against Seattle, or these teams that get, and that's the nature of it. You've got to take advantage of the easy courses, Salk. When you got a birdie hole, par 4 short one, you got to make birdie or par.
But that's why the question is, can he do it against the best teams in the playoffs? And when he does, if he plays the way he did against Houston, if he plays the way he did at Jacksonville, if he plays the way he did this past week against San Francisco, dude, they're going to be unbelievable. And he's going to put every one of these questions to bed because they're going to go to the Super Bowl. And if he doesn't, and he plays the way he did against the Rams that day, then the question marks are still going to be out there, and you're going to wonder if he can win the big one. Like that's just sort of how it goes.
And the great thing and the beauty on the other side of it is what you're paying him is incredible return on investment. And the teammate that he is and as beloved as he is in that building is incredible. Right, so you got all of those positives, and now it's just getting over that hump. Which is what so many of the quarterbacks in this league want to do, which is still what Lamar and Josh Allen want to do.
And that's what I was trying to get on Klatt for when he was like, well, he's got to win a Super Bowl. Like, okay, so is that just the thing? Do you not trust anyone until – maybe that's fair. Like, hey, I don't trust you until you've done it and gotten all the way to the very end and won the big one. That was the Peyton Manning knock for years and years and years.
That was the Elway knock. That was the Marino knock.
Absolutely.
That's a Jim Kelly knock. There is a long line of those fellas.
I'm not sure I'm quite putting Sam in line with that group of people yet, but we'll see what happens by the end of this year. We'll be back with everything you need to know next. I'm Brock and Salk.
And so we are set.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Seattle.
Seattle is going to win this football game. A single-season franchise record of 14 wins. The 4th #1 seed in franchise history.
Reaction.
Just incredibly proud of him.
Conversation.
Hopefully the next trip is going to be back down here for the Super Bowl.
Complete coverage at SeattleSports.com and the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Well, I think I have a few more days to wish you a happy new year as 2026 is here. And you can kick your new year off, right, by getting in shape and making Top Fitness your first stop. Top Fitness stores are celebrating the new year with some incredible deals. Take your New Year's resolution seriously with the very best fitness gear there is, set up in your own home gym by our professional installers. They sell the best quality products available. Brands like Precor, True, Octane, Inspire, and Hyrox. You can come in now and check out the deal of all deals as well if you're looking for that treadmill. The Precor 885 treadmill. They've got leased returns. They normally sell for over $13,000 now. Could be yours for $36.99. That includes a full 3-year warranty. This is the same commercial treadmill sold to health clubs worldwide. And every new treadmill, elliptical home gym, they're all on sale. With the greatest selection of home fitness equipment in Washington, have their staff show you why. It's no secret why everybody, from those personal trainers to pro athletes, love their stores. In Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Happy New Year, Susan. I really appreciate you picking up the bill for lunch.
I'm happy to. One of my New Year's resolutions is being better with money. So I've started using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for buying gas.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I earn cash back just for buying the gas I was already buying.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make $200 to $300 this year.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play and start earning cash back on everyday gas purchases. Use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents per gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RIDER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RIDER. Code RIDER.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
At Cressy Door, we not only have the perfect garage door for your home, but we also offer options for creating space and even warming your outdoor areas. Check out your options at cressydoor.com.
Want more Seahawks content? Join me, G. Scott, on The Reset. New episodes of the podcast every Monday and Thursday on YouTube or on the Seattle Sports app.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of its National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through January 25th. Stop by any of its participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference. Visit drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder and equal housing opportunity builder.
Hey, Mike Salk here, and I'm telling you, people all over the Northwest right now, they're going to be losing 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 pounds, and they'll do it by Valentine's Day. And they'll do it by starting Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. That'll be the resolution. You can as well. A 15-minute phone call is all it takes to get started, and just see if you're interested in this program. I was. It really did work for me. I did the program. I immediately lost 10 pounds just in the first week. I lost about 35 pounds after 8 weeks. Here's what I didn't have to do. Fight for space in a crowded gym with all the New Year's resolutioners. No pills, no No injections, no bland boxed fake meals or anything like that. What I did get was delicious recipes, real food that you buy at the grocery store, and a group to offer support, accountability, and coaching. Do it for yourself this year. Go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com and schedule that 15-minute phone call. Don't let it hold you back. Do it now. Go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Success, Brock. It is amazing while it's happening, but you got to appreciate it and you got to capitalize it on it in the NFL because the league doesn't wait. In fact, it does everything in its power to knock you right back down. The schedule's going to get harder. The players get more expensive. You can't keep everybody, and everybody wants your assistant coaches. Right now, near the top of that list is Clint Kubiak. Request to interview for the Giants, Cardinals, Raiders, Falcons. That's 4 of the 7 openings. Aden Dirty, candidate in Cleveland. So, there's going to be a brain drain. Some of these guys, if they don't leave now, are going to be considered down the road. I just wanted to clarify because I got a couple texts earlier from people saying, well, aren't those guys under contract? Offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, since we were having a big contractual conversation. Yeah. Yes. And if someone wanted them to make a lateral move, they wouldn't be allowed to do that. But to move up in the NFL world or really in any sport, no one holds people back from that. It's an opportunity for advancement, and those contracts are happily ripped up by the team that is allowing them to go.
Yeah, that's a good point. And also, I think there's probably some assuming like, well, hold on a second. Clint Kubiak's interviewing in 5 places. He's flying to Cleveland and Atlanta, and no, those are all done via Zoom. I think from my understanding, they're kind of like an hour or less. There's some kind of time frame on those things as well, so they can't hold you for 5, 6, 7 hours in a day. And so, it's really a kind of a meet and greet more than anything else than it is a super, super deep dive. And so he'll get a chance for him and his resume and his experience. Be awesome. As Mike McDonald said the other day, it really is a win-win. I mean, it's going to be a bummer if he leaves, but it is such a win for Clint individually. It's a win for your organization that people want. Part of what you do and do really, really well. And from the offensive side of it, I agree with DJ. I don't think there's an offensive candidate that's going to be more wanted nor desired than Clint Kubiak.
Other than Stefanski.
That's right. And Mike McCarthy is out there as well. You probably put him in that offense. He's almost a head coach more than just an offensive guy because of all of his background there, too. Those would be the other two. And Kubiak would be the one that's getting a whole lot of attention, at least early in the process.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Yeah, probably the biggest story in sports today, or at least in college sports for sure, is what has happened here at UW just in the last 12, 24 hours, as Damon Williams put himself into the portal, which is funny because he had just signed a 3-year contract 3 days earlier to stay with the University of Washington. Here's Joel Klatt, who joined us earlier.
Listen, I'm not mad at Damon Williams. I just think he's in the wrong. Those are two different things.
I agree with you.
Okay.
All right. So, I think we agree.
There you go. So we reached a conclusion. I think he's in the wrong. He will be in the wrong in the court of public opinion. And if he goes to the place that I think he does, then they have no idea. They have the largest blind spot in America of the way that they think people are perceiving what has gone on at that place. I think you know where he's going, and they don't seem to think that they've done anything wrong in the last month and a half. And it's wild.
You miss doing college football every week, Brock?
That'd be them folk down in the bayou down there at LSU.
Hey, Brock, sack fumble.
Sack fumble.
This might be both. Are you missing college football these days? Are you missing doing those games, getting ready for bowl games? Next.
Push.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
We're going to talk a lot more about this in a few minutes with John Forslund, the voice of the Kraken. But they had another great night last night. 7 goals they score against the visiting Boston Bruins, which is going to win you most hockey games. And it did last night as well. 2 for the kid, Berkeley Catton, his first 2 in the NHL. The captain, Brock, Jordan Eberle, got it all going.
Kraken sorted out. Dunn's bid blocked in front. In tight. They score! Jordan Eberle
Yeah, that was a 5-on-3 for like a minute 50. You definitely want to capitalize on those. But they won 8 of 9. They got points in 9 straight games. They're 1 point out of first place.
That's amazing.
Isn't it?
Who is it, Vegas? They were just looking up at Vegas.
No, there's 2 teams ahead of them. They have, I think it's 40-something. I forget the numbers. I was looking at it last night. There are 2 teams tied just ahead of them, 1 point ahead of them, but the Kraken have 2 games in hand on one of them.
There you go.
I'd have to go back and figure that out for you.
Don't do that. Don't worry.
I won't do that. That's everything you need to know a quarter past every hour here on the Brock and Salk
So
Show.
I had a friend of the show text me after that last segment.
Okay.
Yep. And he said, I wonder if you ran those little QBR and efficiency numbers with Stafford, if it would look the same.
I bet it would. To a point, don't you think?
Stafford's been really good this year.
Did you run them?
I did.
Okay.
So I took a look at a bunch of them, because they played similar teams, right? Similar divisions. Against Houston, he was a 109 and a 68. Against Jacksonville, he's a 117 and an 82. Against Seattle, he was an 89-46. So that first game, remember, he threw 2 touchdowns,
Right.
so the QBR was still decent. Second game against Seattle, he was a 110 and an 89. So Philly, it was a little bit of a bump, but even that was 82-69 QBR.
That's pretty good.
So the only 2 kind of stinkers he had were 2 teams that Sam torched, Carolina and Atlanta. Carolina, you had 3 turnovers, an 89 and a 25, and then Atlanta, you had a 64 and a 41. So
pick 6.
Yeah, so he was like, he was pretty good against a lot of the good competition, and it was actually,
and he just now has the advantage of he's won it. I mean, he's done it. This was the same knock on him until he won.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
And now Stafford's won.
And remember that track record for Stafford for a lot of years was, he was big time. He made big time plays, big time production, but then there was always a turnover. He's always going to sack fumble. He's going to throw a pick. There's always going to be a turnover. There's always going to be a bump in the road until, he got to a great organization with great people around him, elevated his game, and won the whole doggone thing. And Sam, for a lot of years in New York and Carolina, does some good things, but there's turnover. And even in Minnesota, unfortunately, the last couple games there didn't go the way they wanted to. 14 wins, man. He has set himself up with great people around him to change the narrative.
Kraken have 47 points in 41 games. The Golden Knights, 48 in 41 games. And the Oilers also have 48 points, but in 43 games. So they've had a couple extra opportunities. Not one single team of the 8 in the Pacific Division, Brock, have a positive goal differential. Not one. Not one team in the Pacific. The best is the Oilers at 0.
South? Is that what you're telling me?
I mean, look, the Oilers are 0. The Knights are golden, or -1, -2 for the Kings, -5 for the Kraken. So they're all kind of hovering there. And my guess is if they both, all keep playing good hockey, they'll rise back up again. But yeah, pretty crazy. It's not been the best division, and so you find yourself a game out of first place. John Forslund will be on the call tomorrow when they take on the Wild, and he'll join us next.
2025. What a ride.
And the Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
How many did we play? 15 innings?
15 innings.
The fans literally standing the whole game.
One of the most amazing games ever.
2026, you have some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. That's the thing.
A good indication of what happens next.
This feels like a beginning.
This is where you hear it happen. Happy New Year from Seattle Sports.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
It's game time, and Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota Renton are lining up with a roster that's built to dominate the field. The gas-powered RAV4, built to power through every drive, rain or shine. Or switch up the play with the hybrid RAV4, versatile, efficient, and always moving the chains. The Tacoma, tough, dependable, and clutch when it counts. And now, taking the field, the all-new 2026 Toyota Tundra, redesigned, powerful, and built for the big moments. Whether you're in the north or the south, Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton have your winning ride. Visit toyotaofkirkland.com and toyotaofrenton.com.
O'Brien.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Washington, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Want to make 2026 your year of adventure? Book that trip and learn a new language with Babbel. Go ahead, make a resolution you can stick to. Now is the time. Babbel's New Year sale is here. Unlock all of the languages on Babbel with the lifetime subscription for 65% off. Just go to Babbel.com and start today. Babbel teaches you relevant words and phrases, so you can start speaking with confidence in as little as 3 weeks. And because Babbel's bite-sized lessons fit easily into your daily routine and are easy to remember, you'll be talking like a local in time for takeoff. Dive into the world of language learning content with Babbel's videos, podcasts, and stories from around the world, full of culture bites and language learning tips. Turn your daydream into a destination this year with Babbel. But don't wait. This offer ends January 15th. Get Babbel's lifetime access for less at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
At O'Neill Plumbing, we don't just promise to get the job done, we back it up. No travel charge, no show-up fee, no overinflated pricing, and no out-of-town owners. Just clean, fast, and professional each and every day. O'Neill Plumbing.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
This is the home of the Seahawks.
Going to let one fly deep. Got a man out there. Ball is caught down at the 10-yard line, and it's JSN.
Seattle Sports.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct Access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/22/26, new customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. That's Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Zone kept by Dunn. One final hold. McCann with it. He scores! Did he beat
That was pretty awesome. Right at the end of the second period last night, scored with just a half second left on the clock, Brock. I wasn't sure in real time if it had gone in time, but it did. And the Kraken end up with scoring 7. They win, 7-4 last night? Just incredible. They are on a heater. John Forslund is the voice of those Kraken on the Kraken Hockey Network, and he does a phenomenal job, and he's kind enough to take a few minutes with us again. Good morning, John. How are you?
Hey, Mike, good morning. How are you guys doing?
Well, what the heck has happened here? I mean, it was like a couple of weeks ago before Christmas. I'm complaining to Brock that, they're just not playing good hockey and it's lackadaisical and they're still not hitting anybody and they can't score and the power play's bad. And now they're unbelievable. They've been as good as anybody in hockey. What has changed?
Well, for me, in terms of how they want to play, obviously the results are way different, but in terms of how they want to play, nothing has changed, and maybe that's the key ingredient to why they've kind of recaptured where they want to go. Now, you got to guard against a lot of these streaks in this season. It's a compressed schedule because of the Olympics, and, the games are coming on an every other day basis, or in this case, back-to-back, and they've had 4 consecutive back-to-back games, and when you're going good, these things can happen. We're seeing it around the league when you're going bad. There's no practice time for the coaches. There's a lot of travel. It just runs in the wrong direction. But this team has, from day one, established how they want to play as a group. And even in their dark times where they were not playing very well or getting the results, they didn't vary in terms of their team game if you watched it closely. Sure, their special teams need work and still do. Power play has been okay. The penalty killing has been bad, and they're looking to improve that. But overall, the 5-on-5 game with goaltending, those are the things you look at in this season because of the compressed schedule and the parity that's all over the NHL. Like, it's really, other than Colorado and maybe Dallas, everybody's the same. So it's really hard to gauge, how you measure against another team. You just have to look at your own game, where it is, and have confidence in it. And I think these guys do. I think they're confident in Lane Lambert. I think they believe in how they want to play. And they're some of their parts. They don't have star power. They don't have any of that. So you can't get carried away with 1 or 2 players. It's going to have to be the entire group. When it's going good as it is now, you take it and run.
So, Mr. Forslund, you've been a few places over the years. Where do you hang your fandom hat? Are you an NFL? Are you a Major League Baseball? Is it all hockey? Do you have any fandom hat outside of the NHL?
I love sports, and I guess my second favorite would be Major League Baseball. I love baseball. I've taken on to the Mariners as my second team. It's funny, I tell people this all the time. I grew up in New England, so the Red Sox are my team. I grew up in Springfield, Massachusetts on Fenway Drive, so how could it be anything different, right? So I love the Red Sox and always have, but even before I had this gig, I would stay up in the summer when I finally got some time by myself and watch late night baseball, and always enjoyed watching the Mariners play. So it fits for me there. I'm a big football guy too. It's just unfortunate that I get about 2 weeks of football to enjoy, and then that's it. Because on Sundays, I'm either working or watching hockey. That's the way it works.
Is there something to a rising tide that truly can lift all boats? We're seeing it on the 2 stadiums that share Royal Brougham Way, what the Mariners did. It's the first time in our city's history, John, that the Mariners win a division and the Seahawks win the division. The Seahawks, the number 1 team, and the Mariners were 9 outs away from a World Series. Do you think there's anything to, even in professional sports, where, success begets success in the community?
There is with the fans, and in this city, the fans make a huge difference. And so it's always been the case. When things are going well and there's momentum and there's a sense of community, Seattle rises up, and it could happen, and it could be just what this team needs, because again, this is a team that's, going to be counted out and still is. I mean, around the league, they're not going to get any attention. They got no preseason love from anybody. And so that's right in everybody's wheelhouse here. That's all everybody needs to hear when things are going well. And I hope so, because when I'm around a group of guys like this, you see the frustration, you see how hard they're trying to find answers. You just look at Lane's face in back of the bench, and it's etched there, right? It looks like he hasn't slept since July, and that's where they're headed. Where it goes in the second half, I don't know, and really there isn't much of a second half. That's why this is well timed, because this is the sprint. What happens between now and the end of January, beginning of February, before the Olympics, will determine, where you sit, because then you're going to be off for about 3 weeks, and nobody's going to be able to recapture whatever they had. Maybe the teams that are not going well will take the break and utilize it, but the teams that are flying are going to just have to figure out that, when we come back, it's going to be way different, and then it's like 6 weeks and the season's over. So this is like the middle of February, the end of February right now in a conventional season.
Poor Lane is aging before our eyes. I mean, I saw he's got.
He'll be all right.
Oh my gosh! I mean, the dark circles under the eyes. I feel wow. But I
need to give him some of my makeup.
That's it. Yes. Yeah. Because you always look great. I mean, and
right.
He looks like he's falling apart back there. But then you see the videos that they've been showing after the games, and you see the smile, and you see how happy he's been with the way the team has played. I got to ask you about the one move they made that seems to have kind of preceded a lot of that, and that was the trade of Mason Marchment, who they brought in to do a job that he just never really seemed to do. He did not show any of that grit and sandpaper that he was billed to have. Can the trade of one player open it up and really change things that dramatically for a whole team and a whole roster?
Well, it's a striking coincidence how this has worked out, and I'm not going to speak to what goes on inside the room. I'm not there, and it's not my deal, but I can speak to what I saw. And when you trade for a player and you bring him in, and he is supposed to change your dynamic and how you play, he's supposed to make you grittier, edgier. He's supposed to get to the interior of the ice. He's supposed to be that type of player with the ability to score 20-plus goals, to give you a player that, the Kraken did not have. The Kraken they're still in need of players who are a little bit tougher and play with an edge, and that's why some of these kids that have come up here are providing that spark right now. They're a little soft around the edges, in my opinion, and have been, and certainly last year that was the case. So you bring in Mason Marchment. He's supposed to change all of that. And what you're trying to do as a coach is you're giving him every opportunity to do it, and he wasn't doing it. He was guilty of playing on the outside. He was guilty of bad turnovers. He was guilty of, at times, in my opinion, selfish play. And so that has an effect, even if the players like him and like to be around him. Brock can attest to it by being in a locker room. At some point, your respect drops off because you're getting catered to, but you're not doing it. So other players are aching for that opportunity, aching for that slot. Maybe a guy like Eli Tolvanen. He's not going to say anything to anybody. But Tolvanen, since he's joined the team back in 22, plays a complete game, can score some goals, leads the team in hits every year, and that's understated. No one even recognizes that. And now, he gets to bump up in the order once Marchment is gone. It awakens the team. It gives a kid like Berkeley Catton an opportunity to play more. It gets everybody in the proper mindset, and then you get back to team. You don't get back to trying to fit one guy, and then the coach doesn't have to worry about it anymore. Because I'm sure the coach is having conversations with the GM about this, saying, I can't work with this guy. Do something. And the GM's probably saying, I just traded for him. I got to justify it a little bit here. I'm not sure I'm going to get a return. Well, it all worked out because I think Jason Botterill pulled the trigger at the right time, enhanced the return in terms of draft picks. That's good for the future. But in the now, what's it going to do for you? Columbus got a good player. He's got everything to gain by, in a contract year to be a better guy. He's off to a good start with that team. But, his total team game that didn't fit what they're trying to do. So he didn't fit the puzzle here. Fine, move on. And it's the timing of it. A lot of GMs would hang on to that and wait to the trading deadline. You can't wait to the trading deadline this year. So good on the Kraken for doing that. They moved on, team moved on, and they haven't lost since.
I appreciate that Tolvanen may lead the team in hits, but if they give any more ice time to this Jacob Melanson kid, that's not going to be the case anymore. John, I'm in love.
I'm surprised this wasn't the first question.
It's borderline lust.
I texted John while he was on the air the other night. That's how strongly I feel about this, and I felt bad about that. But I know it's a short franchise history, He's my favorite player in franchise history already, and I don't know if it can last. I don't know if he can do this forever and not get hurt because he's really putting his body at risk on a shift-to-shift basis. But what is this guy up to? He's awesome.
Well, he looks like a hockey player, doesn't he? Especially with the battle scars now. I mean, this is unbelievable. He's chiseled. He's hard. He's from the Canadian Maritimes. He's from Amherst, Nova Scotia, where they learn how to play the correct way, where they learn how to, come up through the ranks and be tough. And this kid's gone through a lot of things in his life at a young age. When he's just starting to grow as a junior hockey player, he lost his grandfather, who was like a second dad to him, and it was something for him to deal with. He's had a collarbone situation, which almost curtailed his career. These things happened to him as an amateur player, and long before being drafted and long before even seeing a dream of playing the NHL. Then he's taken in the 5th round. And when you get, mid-round picks, and this is the first draft back in 21 for the Kraken, and they matriculate, that says a lot of things about your organization. First of all, you drafted a player that has an intangible. Usually the skilled guys stick out in every sport. If you got the speed, if you've got the shot in basketball, if you can hit a home run, in hockey, if you can score a goal, those guys, those are the ones that are easy to scout. It's how do you earmark a player that might be able to play at this level? You still have to have the skill to get it done, and he has a skill set. But he's going to bring something that can be a tide changer. He's going to swing momentum in a game, and he did it at the junior level, and he did it at the American League level for a couple of years, and that's where the development comes into play, and that's why it's so hard to tell the fans, and we're still telling them, over the years here, you got to wait a little bit. You got to wait. You got to let these players grow in the American Hockey League. That's how hockey works. They don't want to hear that. They're used to football and basketball where draft choices come right in and play and make an impact. Not so much, in our sport. So good for him. And he's come in here, and he's going to be infectious. The fans, if he sticks, which he likely will, they're going to love how he plays. Mike, you're already sold. That's a big step in the right direction.
Good, yes.
Just don't get carried away with it.
No,
it's just that's what the team needs. And then the veteran guys are going to love it because he's carrying a lunch pail. Somebody's got to do it. And I said earlier, a couple questions ago about their softness as a team. It's not a knock. It's just a dynamic. And there's a lot of teams like that in the NHL today. But if you can find a player that can do that, you're on your way. And I'm not talking about dropping the gloves. I'm just talking about being really hard to play against, like legitimately hard to play against. And then going out there when the team's in a lull, when you are playing back-to-back, when you are, 17 games in a month, which they'll play this season, in January. It's crazy. You need that. So he's young. He's got the energy. He wants to play at this level, wants to stick here desperately. And this has been fun to watch.
Well, John, always fun to talk to you as well.
And John, if you ever need any advice on how to stop texting me. I'm working. All right, I'm busy. Totally I'm working. Fair. I don't need your lust.
I felt
right
bad.
now.
I really did feel bad. I try not to do that stuff, but I couldn't help myself. I'm literally falling in love watching TV, Brock. That's how sad it is.
That's great.
Well, this is a good thing. We just got to take it step by step.
Thank you. Yeah.
And then there's help for everybody, boys, right? There's always help for all of us.
Jokes aside, I do make my daughter who plays, I tell her every time, watch 63. We were at the game the other day. I said, just watch every shift, watch everywhere he goes, because she's kind of the same type of player, and just see what he does and see the way he separates people from the puck. John, thank you. I'm glad you guys are getting to watch some good hockey right now, because it's a lot of fun listening to you and watching you guys, and we'll keep doing it. We'll talk again soon.
Okay, guys. Thanks for having me. Keep up the great work. We'll talk soon.
There you go. One of the best in the business. John Forslund is great. And as I said earlier, whether you love and know a lot about hockey or not, you can learn something just by listening to him. How honest is he about the Marchment thing? That's unbelievable.
But he does it the right way. Like I'm not gonna paint pictures I don't know. I'm not gonna assume anything. These are my eyes. And these eyes have watched for decades hockey at a very high level. And I think you can trust what my eyes have seen and presented that in a very, very good way.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Unlike these trash takes coming out.
All right. Let's hear your trash takes. Let's go. What do we got today?
Get it together. Y'all look like trash.
Trash takes.
It's a bunch of trash.
Oh, gosh.
I thought it was trash. On Brock and Salk.
That's a terrible take.
I will just say, one of the reasons I ask a few of those questions, I know we can't go too deep into hockey that our whole audience doesn't get it, is just to show that hockey, once you love it and follow it, actually makes a great sports radio sport. Yeah. There are so many fun conversations that come with watching a hockey game for 82 games a year and beyond. It really is great. But you kind of have to do that first so that we can all get into the depth of those conversations.
Gotcha.
Just a thought.
Gotcha. Well, I have the crown. I finished 2025.
You want to go first?
I didn't win the overall title. That was Mora.
Yeah.
I did take second.
You're keeping score in this?
Lyle took third.
I didn't know you were keeping track.
Of course he is.
Mora, come on.
Competitive nut job that he is.
So as the winner of 2025 and its finale, I'd like to go first.
Okay.
I don't even remember what I texted Mora last night. I'm trying to not look at my phone and remember what I sent her. So I'm going to let
Canty?
just... Oh, Chris... Oh, that's right.
Which Chris Canty?
The Chris Canty that precedes us in the morning.
Okay. What'd he have to say? Let me hear.
This is what he had to say.
Now y'all understand why I feel the way I feel about kickers. They're not football players and they're barely even people.
I knew that you were going to hate the outcome of that game because of the kicking.
They were given a gift. Smalls, Chris Boswell botches the extra point, opens the door, and then Isaiah Likely makes a hell of a play on 4th and 7, comes down with it. And Tyler Loop, after going the entire season not missing a field goal within 50 yards, pushes it right. Absolutely terrible way to lose a ball game. Disgusted. The fact that it's the Ravens' hated rival in the Pittsburgh Steelers. And for me, as a former Raven, knowing that it was Aaron Rodgers that ended our season, just disgusting. I literally want to throw up in my mouth.
That you can all agree with.
I think we agree with the end part of it. Barely people, was that the part that got you?
Not football players and barely people. That's trash.
Sounds like something Wyman would say.
That's trash.
Wow. All right.
Trash.
Lyle, why don't you
Lyle, you got a trash take this week?
Tyler Loop went to Arizona. Is anybody shocked that guy blew it and just choked it away? No.
Oh, that's your trash take. Okay. Good.
That's a good take. I like that. I like a little rivalry take.
No, I got a take. It's from RG3, and well, here we go.
A lot of people say that.
Hang on. My bad. One more time.
A lot of people say that the transfer portal and NIL have destroyed college football. I actually think it's made college football better.
I mean, we could just pause right there if you want, but I'll keep going. I'll just let that statement sink in for a second. But yeah, let's keep going.
Because now there's more parity. It's harder to be a team that is constantly repeating or constantly playing in the national championship game, playing in the college football playoff semifinals. It's harder to do now.
Yeah.
Ohio State, $35 million roster, couldn't get to the college football semifinal this year. So you can say, well, you just spend the most money and you can make it happen. Ohio State spent the most money. They didn't make it.
Wow.
RG3, who won the Natty last year? Oh, it was Ohio State. So you're taking a 1 year
sample size.
Yeah.
All right, that's funny. I appreciate the effort though. Mora, you usually come in with the hammer. What do you got?
2025 champion, Mora. What do you got?
Mora's good at this.
So we've already
No surprise, Soundhound.
We already heard this sound on Monday, but I just can't get over how lame I think it is that Bengals coach Zach Taylor is mad that they stopped the game to celebrate Myles Garrett breaking the sack record.
Ridiculous.
There's 5 minutes left in our season. We're playing for our lives here, and I was never told that we're going to stop the game, and in a critical moment like that, and the refs just said that they made a decision that they were going to stop the game, and they said they tried to do it as quickly as possible. I didn't feel that. We didn't sub. We're trying to be on the ball and go and play with tempo, and the umpire just held the ball so that we couldn't do anything.
All right, it's enough.
We're playing for our lives. No, you're not, because your season ended in week 15. Maybe you should have played a little harder earlier in the season. I would have fired this guy just for being an excuse-making, whiny baby that I wouldn't want leading my team.
Whoa.
But they kept him.
I'm glad you said baby. I didn't know that.
I wasn't sure what was coming next either. An excuse-making whiny. Whoa. All right. Oh, baby. Yeah, agreed. Definitely a baby. Well, guys, that's a fire 3 takes there. All 3 of those are terrible. Brock, I'm sorry, you're out. It's a bad take. I'm with you, but you spent all Saturday night complaining about a kicker. Now, you didn't call him barely a human being.
You were kind of brutal on our
But you were being
text.
so mean about Jason Myers. You were so harsh on him. And I think that Canty was sort of exaggerating to make a point. I don't think he actually thinks they're barely people, but I'm going to give him a pass. I thought that was actually kind of funny. So, bad take, but you can't give that one. Sorry, you're out. Too hypocritical. Lyle, you're very close on this one. Very close. It's a bad take from RG3. But I found it sort of entertaining. I like that he's trying to at least make that argument. He totally fails. If I were him, the argument should have just been, look at the ratings. They're better. Like, you guys can complain all you want about college football being broken. People are watching it at record numbers. So what do you mean it's broken? Seems like it's working just fine from a media perspective, from a fan perspective. Everybody's there watching. So that would have been my argument if I were him. I think he kind of blew the end to it. But I'm going to give him, even though I don't want to give him credit, I'm going to give him a little bit of credit for at least trying to make the argument. So, Maura, that Zach Taylor thing is absurd. That is right out of the Bruce Arians playbook of excuse making. That's pathetic. Absolutely
I set
pathetic.
A record. Give him his due.
No, it's pathetic. Totally. Yeah, right. That's pathetic.
Now, if he would have
then
said,
Jamar Chase was
coaching
just
for
as
our-
bad. He's like, so if I catch 10 balls this game, they're going to stop the game. It's like, that's not the same as breaking a sack record that stood for
Well,
years.
yeah, absolutely right. Also, like, he may have been right. Like, they should have told him that they were going to do it. Okay. But to complain about it publicly afterwards, you sound like a whiny excuse-making baby. Nice job, Maura. You win. Now, if Kyle were here today, I think he would have submitted Brock for trash takes. I think he would have said, wait a minute, Brock. In fact, I know he would have because I talked to him in the other room. I think he would have said, so college football's gone through this horrific realignment. Things have been going crazy for years now. But the straw that broke the camel's back is that UW loses a quarterback? Come on, man. I think that would have been Kyle's take if he were here to offer a trash take today.
Say it to my face, Kyle. Say it to my face.
Well, he actually had a good reason for not saying it to your face.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll just air the family. But he was like, I said, why don't you tell that to Brock? He's like, well, if I call him, it feels really rude and like mean spirited versus like if I see him in the sports pen, it just feels like ribbing. So I figured I would do that for him. I would take on that responsibility. We got to get out of here. Great job on Trash Takes. Thank you to John Forslund, Bryan Walters, and to Joel Klatt. Honestly, 3 powerhouse guests today. All 3 were awesome. If you got a chance to go back and either watch YouTube or the clips there or on the Seattle Sports app or wherever you get your podcast, very worth it today. Tomorrow, Rich Eisen.
Rich Eisen.
How about that? Rich Eisen at 7:30.
He's become a Seahawks believer.
How about that?
He was doling out some apologies on Monday because he picked the Niners.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll talk to him at 7:30, and then we'll whip around these NFC games at 8:30. So come join us. Starting at 6, Bump and Stacy up next in the Hay
Barn.
That's where it is. See you, everybody.
Get to the chopper!
$2025. What a ride.
The Seahawks win 38-37. It's Sauber with the 2-point conversion catch. Holy cow!
So glad we can get done at home in front of the 12s.
2026, you have some big shoes to fill, and we can't wait.
The road to the Super Bowl runs through Lumen Field in Seattle.
This is where you hear it happen.
We've won so many different ways all year.
Happy New Year from Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here. When I first met with Trajan Wealth, I love what I got. Straight talk. Not a sales pitch, straight talk. I left the meeting feeling empowered. They're fiduciaries, so their advice is built around what's best for you. I saw the difference, and so will you. Trajan Wealth specializes in retirement strategies for families with $500,000 or more, and they understand that no 2 retirement plans are the same. They offer guidance on a variety of financial objectives, including ways to earn higher potential returns and tax concerns as well. Let Trajan Wealth help you develop a plan that is going to meet your specific financial goals. Start by calling Trajan Wealth today, 206-466-3300. That's 206-466-3300. Or go to TrajanWealth.com. That's TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC. SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Ooh, that face. Quantum fiber internet loves that face.
That's Jamila.
Hey, Jamila.
She's thinking outside the box from inside the box.
Quantum fiber Wi-Fi keeps her meeting game strong.
Rushing all over video calls, back-to-back video calls.
Quantum fiber internet blowing the soxies up all those people in all those boxes. Yay to you.
Switch today at quantumfiber.com. Additional pods may be needed to achieve Wi-Fi coverage in some locations. Limited availability. Service in select locations only.
Hey Hawk fans, Jake Bobo. Stormy weather is here. How's your roof holding up? Give Techline Roofing a call. With the strongest warranty in the business, Techline has you covered. That's Tekline. Roofing.com. Trust Techline.
At Cressy Door, we not only have the perfect garage door for your home, but we also offer options for creating space and even warming your outdoor areas. Check out your options at CressyDoor.com.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for RLE. That's Refractive Lens Exchange. Now, Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, no contacts, readers, or cataracts. Now, if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top: you never develop a cataract. Now, if you're somebody like me that had a pair of readers in every room of the home, in your car, you had to bring them into the restaurant with you. Otherwise, like me, you couldn't read the menu. That has all been rectified thanks to RLE. So whether it's LASIK, EVO, ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to recommend what's best for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Everybody loves the season of giving, but now the season of paying for it is upon us. That not-so-wonderful time of the year when millions of Americans open their credit card statements, stare in horror at the balance, and resolve then and there to find new ways to save money. If you're among those Americans, why not start by cutting your wireless bill in half right now with Pure Talk's Saver Plan? It's easy. You'll get unlimited talk, text, and 3 gigs of high-speed data on a super-fast, nationwide 5G network for just $20 a month. Just dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Ho, ho, ho. And if you're active or former military or a first responder, you'll save an additional 20% every single month. That's pound 250. Say Mike Rowe for the gift that keeps on saving from America's wireless company, Pure Talk.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens